summer staff, or expanding your product line, Collect Early helps you get your invoices paid in hours, not weeks. What could your business do with more money? Take things to the next level with WaFd Bank and find bankers with the knowledge and services to meet your business goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. WaFdBank.com, member FDIC.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Linwood Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Linwood Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Linwood Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Linwood Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Linwood Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Planning a road trip? Plan a visit to your neighborhood Buc-ee's Complete Auto Repair for oil changes, brakes, AC repair, and factory maintenance. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Buc-ee's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. The tough, frustrating work goes on along the Guadalupe River in central Texas. 6 days after the deadly flooding, more than 170 people are still unaccounted for. Kerrville police officer Jonathan Lamb.
It is a methodical search which ensures that every area in an area to be searched is covered and searched and that no stone is left unturned.
CBS's Karen Hua.
FEMA is boots on the ground today. FEMA, along with the Small Business Association, they're opening this disaster recovery center at the First Baptist Church here in Kerrville, and it's meant to offer face-to-face help with some of these survivors. Any resources, whether that's physical resources like food, bottled water, mental help, any emotional resources.
The death toll now stands at 121. Dramatic scene in Los Angeles. CBS's Carter Evans reports on the rescue of more than 24 construction workers after an industrial tunnel collapse.
After the collapse of the 18-foot diameter tunnel, uncertainty followed.
Ask the police, please let me through. And my husband's in there.
Chelsea Fernandez says she got an alert on her phone and ran to the site.
And I just want to know if he's okay. They said they couldn't give me any information, but he called and he said he's out and everything's going to be okay.
A structure failure of the tunnel lining failed approximately 5 to 6 miles in. The workers had to climb through debris.
Workers stepped inside a metal cage that was hoisted by a crane to the surface. All trapped workers were safely extricated. No injuries were reported.
A federal judge in New Hampshire has blocked the Trump executive order ending birthright citizenship, certifying a class action lawsuit against it. Now to the Middle East, correspondent Elizabeth Palmer has the latest on the effort to work out a Gaza ceasefire agreement and get food and supplies delivered.
A senior Israeli official says that the United Nations will be able to deliver aid again after being sidelined since May in favor of the privately run Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. But there are still serious sticking points, including the thorny issue of how far and when the Israeli army would pull back in Gaza.
An Italian company says, pass the cereal.
Get on the Kellogg's old brand wagon.
Kellogg's has been a staple of American breakfast tables since 1906, as American as apple pie.
Kinder Chocolate.
Now, the Italian owners of Kinder Chocolates and Nutella, the Ferrero Group, have made a $3.1 billion offer for the company. The deal still has to be approved by shareholders. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Gunfire in 5 and a batch of arrests. The story coming up, but first, from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. In Lakewood, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near Thorn Lane Southwest. In Tacoma, watch out for road work on State Route 16 westbound near Jackson Avenue. And in Seattle, a disabled vehicle was blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near State Route 522. You're still backed up to about North 130th Street. Travel time's actually pretty good for this time of day. Everett to Seattle, 51 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 50. Renton to Bellevue, 38. Traffic brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Buy one window or door, get the second at 50% off through July. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A shooting in Fife early this morning leaves 2 people injured, 5 in custody. Cole Hansen, sleeping at a Motel 6, woke up to hear police swooping into action.
They were saying things like, come out, put your hands up, don't turn around, get on your knees. I mean, I was like, it's something that happens, but probably something I never thought I would be a part of.
Police are working to determine exactly what led up to the shooting. No word on the condition of the injured. U.S. Marshals in a national forest in Idaho come up empty-handed in their search for Travis Decker, wanted for murdering his 3 daughters near Leavenworth.
Multiple Decker sightings from campers at Idaho's Sawtooth National Forest. Law enforcement began searching the area with fervor until Wednesday afternoon. That's when the U.S. Marshals Service announced that they had found and interviewed the man that tipsters called in. And it's not Decker. Marshals now calling off the Idaho search, but Decker's status as a fugitive continues. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
We're hearing from the Tacoma man who found what he thought was a present on a Federal Way beach.
I found what looked like a little Christmas package. It's a little square box wrapped in green cloth and yellow string.
But when he opened it,
kind of sat there in shock for, a few seconds and then realized this looks like, a severed human toe.
KIRO 7T reports the King County Medical Examiner is looking into where the toe might have come from. Striking workers at Republic Services in Thurston County claim their work stoppage is expanding to King and Snohomish counties today. Matt Quaid with the Teamsters Union.
So for the customers in Seattle and in Bellevue, they should expect disruptions in waste collections.
The strike is in Thurston County, but he says Teamsters drivers in other areas won't cross picket lines. Republic says it'll haul away double the trash on their customers' next pickup day. The striking workers want better pay and benefits. A big moment for the Mariners' rookie second baseman as the M's took on the Yankees in the Bronx.
Home run, Cole Young, a huge smile on his face as he has done it. His first major league home run, and it comes at Yankee Stadium.
It was not enough, though, to stem the onslaught from the Yankees hitters. New York won at 9-6. The M's look to avoid a sweep in the Bronx this afternoon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy today with highs in the low 70s. It's 59 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, July 10th. It is the day before Fresh Fridays. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Yeah, cannot wait. Hey, we got a bunch of fun stuff today, including this new feature that we hope to do every Thursday. Gee's Would You Rather?
Yeah.
I'm both excited and nervous about that one.
I got 3 good Would You Rather questions.
Okay, that's coming up at 9:47. And then coming up after Heather's newscast at 9:30, 4 major freeways in the Puget Sound region are going to be shut down this weekend.
Yeah.
If you are not ready, you could hit a wall of brake lights. Sully is going to join us, and he's going to have details on how you can steer clear of the chaos. As always, we invite you to join in on our text line. We rely on you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And for those of you watching us on YouTube, apparently, according to one of my friends, there was a kind of a strange view at the start of the show yesterday. Not happening today.
Not happening today?
No.
What was the view? Hey, before
First
we
thing
get
you notice.
Our camera, yes, exactly.
Before we get to the top stories, this takes 2 seconds. Nick, for $1 million, would you cut off your big toe?
No. That's one of my biggest fears is losing one of my pieces of my body.
Okay. Just could it be?
Okay, you see, you should have saved that for Would You Rather. Gee,
no.
That was one of those impulsive things, and you just...
That's why you love me. Hey, here we go. Ursula's top stories of the day, brought to you by Batfitter Northwest.
Now, if you live in King, Snohomish, Seattle, Bellevue, Thurston County, your garbage day just turned into guesswork. As we told you yesterday, Teamsters Local 252 launched a strike in Thurston County. And shop steward Will Zekas tells the Olympian he and his colleagues who work at that Thurston County transfer station, they're simply overworked and underpaid.
We are currently a crew of 12 men, 6 operators and 6 drivers. Currently on strike as we speak right now. We have been going through contract negotiations over the last year and 4 months. We're basically asking for the company to give us comparable wages to our competitors within the area, and we're trying to get our retirement pension plan worked out.
So, gee, it started with those 12 workers, but now Teamsters stretching from Kent to Bellevue, Linwood, Edmonds, they're all going to be honoring the picket lines, they say, stopping pickups in those areas as well. Tens of thousands of homes could be affected. Republic expects delays, they say, and they're promising to pick up double loads at no extra charge whenever they can return to work. They're trying to do these negotiations. But, gee, you are a strong proponent of higher wages. So I want to ask you, who are you mad at in this situation? And the other question is, are you willing to forego trash pickup for a while if it means the workers, and particularly these 12 workers there in Thurston County, get paid more?
When you say a wow, how long? Now, right now, the garbage, the awesome, amazing folks that come pick up the garbage, they come once a week. Cool. If they were to miss a week, I'd be cool. If they were to miss 2 weeks, I can still make it. After 3, hey, I'm done.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done because I can't go sneaking and put in somebody else's garbage. So, but I just want to tell you, I want to be, y'all know I'm very transparent. This whole topic, I am so confused. I was confused yesterday when people were texting in saying we're not on strike. I'm confused even right now, Ursula.
Part of it is because the Teamsters put out a statement that wasn't entirely correct initially.
Yeah.
But now, basically what it is, it started with those 12 workers, because we kept getting text messages from people like, I'm picking up garbage. We have a lot of folks who work in that industry who listen to the show, and they're like, we're picking up. Well, Chef, you didn't get your garbage picked up.
Oh, no. There's about a week's worth of just steaming dog poo bags that are going to sit for another week at least, I guess.
Oh, no. Okay, so this is really part of a wider national movement. That there have been similar walkouts in California, Georgia, Illinois, Massachusetts. And, yeah, the strike itself is the 12 workers there in Thurston County. But now with the Teamsters in many areas honoring the picket lines, now you're going to see a wider impact.
So 12 people are causing this.
Yes, but what they're going to say, what the union is going to say, is that we are fighting for the rights of all of our workers. We are fighting for better improvements for all of our workers. And so, yes, but the actual strike itself is those 12 that walked out. The local, what did I say, 25? So you said you can go for a couple of weeks. I want to hear from those of you listening right now. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. The other thing is Republic says that they are getting paid anywhere from $5 to $6 less per hour than their peers at other companies doing very similar work. That's what they're saying in Thurston County. And I did look into it, and Waste Management does pay more than Republic Services. So who I'm mad at is if it's all about those 12 workers, Republic, get them back in there, get them working again. And if they aren't making a comparable wage, make it a comparable wage. I mean, this is so much bigger of an impact than it needs to be.
Yeah, this situation could stink.
Absolutely. Dad joke. Okay, Washington is bracing for a major hit to Planned Parenthood, but Governor Bob Ferguson says the state is going to step in, at least for now. So if a federal judge allows the latest cuts from Trump's big, beautiful bill to take effect, the governor says the state is going to backfill $11 million in lost Medicaid funding for Planned Parenthood clinics across Washington. Mm-hmm. Now, he says that money would come from the agency that oversees Washington's Medicaid program known as Apple Health.
For a short-term gap like this, what we'll be doing is going to our healthcare authority. They have a large budget. This is about half of 1% of their budget is the millions we would need to backfill this.
Now, he made this pledge at a news conference calling the cuts cruel and targeted. He says the lawsuit to stop them is already underway. A federal judge is expected to rule by July 21st on whether to grant an injunction that would block the cuts for now. But this one-time backfill doesn't fix a bigger problem because unlike the feds, you might not know this, Washington cannot run a deficit. So if the judge doesn't block it, the state cannot afford to keep covering billions in broader Medicaid losses that would come later under this Trump law. So my question to all of you and to you, G, is Governor Ferguson doing the right thing, considering that the state is already dealing with a major budget deficit?
You know I have an imagination. And when I think of Bob Ferguson, when he first got into office, the discussion and conversation was centered around, hey, there is a budget deficit, right? We don't have any money. And then all of a sudden, right, you hear like, hey, they're going to go ahead and backfill with $11 million. It reminds me of when we'd ask our grandmother for some money and she say, oh, I don't have any money in my purse. And then about 10 minutes later, she wanted some Pepsi from the store, and then she reaches in her bra.
Conveniently, she found some money.
I don't know how she has so much money in her bra, right? But
I do.
She would reach in her bra, and she pull out a fat wad. So when I think about Governor Ferguson talking about backfilling with $11 million, you got all of us Washingtonians like, you just pulled that out the bra? Where's that money been? So it makes you start to question, like, do we have the money? Do we not? And why do we have to pick and choose which social programs get cuts, backfilled, and all that?
Yeah, I want to be clear that I support Planned Parenthood, and the thought that they would be losing so much money is worrisome because it's not only about abortion care services, but it's also about other things. The Planned Parenthood offers a lot of other services, and what I believe they serve about 100,000 patients a year in Washington. Nearly half of them are on Medicaid. So this is a big blow. But I also think if you're going to put your critical thinking cap on, this seems very performative because, as you mentioned, we are facing a $12 to $16 billion budget deficit over the next 2 years. The Democrat-run state government just made a whole bunch of really big cuts to balance the books, yet also increased spending. And some of those cuts included nearly $9 million from the state's own abortion access program. So that's the part that I'm like, wait a minute, what? Oh. And the other thing you were saying, well, what do you pick and choose? I mean, do you realize that Governor Ferguson and the Democrats took away nearly $2 million in funding for the only medical facility that focuses on care for drug-exposed babies in Western Washington? I mean, there's a lot of unfortunate picking and choosing.
Yeah.
And here's the head scratcher. It's a group of GOP lawmakers that are urging the governor to find a way to keep that center in Kent open.
Yeah, there's a lot of scratching my head. You know what it also feels like? I'm off the topic here, but it feels like you ever have somebody owe you money and then you see them on Facebook taking vacations and out and about, and you're like, hey, wait a minute. How you got money to be on vacation and do all these things, but you ain't got money to pay me back?
You know, what you're saying between your grandmama's bra and what you just said, I think is the most relatable. This money just magically appears.
For real.
A lot of people are struggling. Okay, Tim Leiweke has now officially stepped down as CEO of Oakview Group, the powerhouse developer behind Seattle's Climate Pledge Arena. We brought you this breaking news yesterday, and his resignation came just hours after he was indicted on federal conspiracy charges tied to a rigged bidding scheme in Texas, alleged. Prosecutors say Leiweke worked behind the scenes to pressure a competitor to drop out of bidding for that arena at the University of Texas, allegedly offering subcontracting deals in return. Oakview Group ended up being the only qualified bidder and won that contract. But now the company has agreed to pay a $15 million penalty. So Tim Lewicki led the team that redeveloped Key Arena into Climate Pledge Arena. And if you remember, for the folks who've lived here a long time or were following that whole deal got a lot of criticism from rival bidders who were accusing the city of Seattle of covering up a bunch of financial details from the public and basically favoring the Oakview Group. And one competitor actually wrote to the mayor and basically city leaders in 2017 saying, hey, this process stunk, and lacked transparency. And basically they said, you need to keep a closer eye on Oakview. So bringing this all up, because when we talked about it yesterday, Tim's brother Todd serves as the CEO of the Kraken, which is the NHL team now playing in that arena. One of the things we were asking is, does this have any bearing on the things that we're trying to do here in Seattle? And you had a chance to talk to somebody.
I did. I had a chance to talk to a spokesperson, right, from the Climate Pledge and the Seattle Kraken and everything. Well, first, I want to say, let me have the statement that was giving to our show. As part owner of Climate Pledge Arena, the Seattle Kraken are aware of the Department of Justice indictment of Tim Lewicki related to the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. Today's news has nothing to do with Climate Pledge Arena or the Seattle Kraken and does not impact the day-to-day operations of the arena, our team, and our other Seattle projects, including Memorial Stadium and the potential to return of the NBA to Seattle. Now, what I have been told is the relationship with Adam Silver, because I had a question. Remember, I was like, hey, is this going to mess up the NBA coming back?
You don't want any bad PR.
Right. I got an answer to that. The relationship for the city of Seattle with the potential of the NBA coming back to Seattle, that relationship is with Samantha Holloway, that person. And then who...
so basically they're saying this has nothing to do with anything that's going on in Seattle.
Right. Nothing to do with any NBA. And I got to tell y'all, that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to know that. As far as everything else, you know, as far as OVG paying $15 million for their penalty, and then the Legends Group paying $1.5 million, yeah, whatever about that. Because
okay. What I want to ask you, I want to call you on that.
What you gonna call me on?
Because why is it that when we have alleged white collar crimes like this, it seems like quick mention and move on. But we're talking about major shoplifting bust or car theft ring, and it gets all sorts of attention.
Or like somebody selling weed on the corner of 23rd and Union, right? You know what? You speaking my language now. I'm glad you brought that up, Ursula. Because I think that America, we are conditioned to accept white-collar crime. We are conditioned to find out when someone says, hey, instead of getting charges, here's a $15 million payout, right? We are conditioned to say things like, because I would believe that there are some people that's like, wait a minute, why is there even charges? This is business as usual.
Is it because the victims aren't as obvious? Could it be? I mean, like, if you have a smash and grab or a shoplifting case, there is a clear bad guy and the victim, the store owner.
Because people in this country, we are conditioned to fight and protect really rich people. When you and I talk about things, when we talk about taxing the 1% here in this state, Governor Bob Ferguson was like, nah, we're not going to tax the wealthy. People argue with us. People that make less money than me argue with me about taxing the top 1%.
I know. So I guess my question to all of you listening right now is, like, do you ever think about that? Like, why is it that we pay way more attention? Is it because it's just easier?
Keep asking.
More obvious?
Keep asking.
Because there are, I mean, if you think about it, all of us taxpayers, when we talk about a lot of these alleged white-collar crimes. It's the taxpayers or honest competitors that are the victims in all this.
What kind of crimes are these?
White-collar crimes. I know. Just ponder that one. My theme today is I've got to keep putting the critical thinking cap on.
By the way, Ursula, I love that you asked that question. I love that you asked that question because you know the next time somebody writes up or talks about it, hey, I was downtown on 3rd Avenue.
That's not to say that isn't a problem.
And this person came into the store and took a whole bunch of bananas.
I mean, that's not a problem. It's just we pay way more attention to that problem. Okay, coming up at 9:30, right after Heather's newscast, Sully's going to join us because you need to listen. If you're going to be driving anywhere this weekend, you need to have this information.
And also 9:47, Ursula's looking forward to, she's scared of that segment. You got to stick around for that. It'll be a Would You Rather segment. All right, do all that next, Gee and Ursula.
The first place you turn to for breaking news.
Protest outside City Hall.
KIRO News Radio.
James Lynch begins our team coverage live at City Hall.
Now, we are told by SPD that 4 people have been arrested for assault. For more on the counter-protesters, we go to Scott Carty.
See a group of another 10 officers come down the steps.
Closures now extended from Washington closer to the stadiums.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and download the KIRO News Radio app to listen anytime.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security. Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
At Clear Choice Dental Implant Centers, we get that your teeth, your budget, and your story are all unique to you, which is why our experts who specialize in dental implants will build a custom solution around each patient's needs. With personalized treatment plans and third-party financing options, we'll help you get your new teeth on your terms. Visit clearchoice.com or call 888-SMILE-05 to schedule your free consultation today and let us help Seattle start smiling again.
Office is owned by Dr. Alfonso Pinheiro.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hi, it's John Curley. You know, I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, Doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, well, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. You know, the option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity. But the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
The Battle of the Brands Hot Tub Expo is back. Tacoma Mall parking lot. Top brands competing for your business. Deep discounts from Jacuzzi Hot Tubs, Dreammaker Spas, Nordic Hot Tubs, Sundance Spas, even Hydro Pool self-cleaning swim spas. In stock and ready for immediate delivery. Save thousands. Hot tubs from $99 a month. Brands compete. You save. The Battle of the Brands Expo presented by Aquaquip. Tacoma Mall parking lot starts Friday. Qualified buyers with credit approval pay just $99 a month for a Dreammaker cabana with $500 deposit, 10.99%, and 144-month term. Other offers available. See us at Tacoma Mall for more details.
Life can be stressful sometimes, but buying your new Subaru doesn't have to be. Subaru of Puyallup has you covered with over 300 new Subarus on the lot. Come in now so you can secure today's pricing on tomorrow's car at Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
At Care Partners Senior Living, we believe in providing quality care at an affordable price. Instead of spending on luxury and expensive art, we invest in our people and accommodations with a focus on compassionate overall health. Our communities offer independent, assisted living, and memory care designed to preserve dignity, independence, and your estate. Affordable, personal, trusted. That's our promise. Please give us a call. We have beautiful Care Partners communities throughout Washington and Arizona. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
No stone is left unturned.
The search continues in central Texas, where at least 120 have died and 160 people are still missing after flash flooding July 4th. CBS's Karen Hua.
We are on day 7 of this search, and while officials have not come out and outright called this a recovery mission, we know that hope is dwindling since it's been about a week since these floods.
Flash floods have killed a man and 2 children in New Mexico, where Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury says more severe weather is expected.
If you live here in Ruidoso, follow the emergency evacuation orders. We cannot lose another life.
For the first time, we're hearing from the task force charged with making King County metro buses safer. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
From passengers being attacked to the death of a King County metro bus driver.
Honestly, since the day Operator Sean Yin was murdered, the county council has been there.
The King County Transit and Safety Task Force has spent months researching and compiling data in order to make public transit safe for all. Those ideas include improving lighting at bus stops, hiring more security officers, and improving reporting for both riders and drivers.
The full council still needs to approve funding. Governor Bob Ferguson says Washington state will divert funding to keep Planned Parenthood operating now that President Trump has signed a budget that freezes Medicaid payments to the group. Planned Parenthood advocate Jennifer Allen.
This bill absolutely attacks both Planned Parenthood and the patients that we serve.
Critics don't want money going to an organization that provides abortions. Planned Parenthood offers all kinds of services, including cancer screenings. A sweet buyout.
Get on the Kellogg's old brand wagon.
Kellogg's has been a staple of American breakfast tables since 1906, as American as
apple pie.
Kinder Chocolate.
Now, the Italian owners of Kinder Chocolates and Nutella, the Ferrero Group, have made a $3.1 billion offer for the company. The deal still has to be approved by shareholders. Ferrero's been trying to expand its U.S. footprint. It previously bought up Nestle's U.S. candy brands and Wells, makers of ice cream. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 235 points, NASDAQ down about 3. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Issaquah, fire crews are blocking a lane as they battle a brush fire off I-90 westbound near Front Street. You're solid from Old Town Issaquah back to about 17th Avenue Northwest. In Lakewood, the crash has been cleared from I-5 southbound near Thorn Lane Southwest. And in Tacoma, watch out for road work on State Route 16 westbound near Jackson Avenue. Travel times are starting to tick down. Everett to Seattle, 48 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 43. Renton to Bellevue, 33. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial at 97.3 HD2. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy skies today with highs in the low 70s. It's 59 in downtown Seattle. I'm Jenna Rock.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
This weekend, we are going to need our conduit because it's going to be a doozy when it comes to traffic. Chris Sullivan is here. What are we expecting?
Not quite hell on earth. That comes next weekend.
Yikes.
But, and I'll get into that, but no, it's going to be rough. 4 freeways are going to be shut down this weekend. 4 freeways at the same time.
Why?
Well, because they got to get the work done. With the paving work and the striping work that they do, that can only be done during the summer. Plus all the sequencing that they've got going on with all the projects that are coming on together. They just are running out of time to get things done. And so, yeah, it's it's going to be rough, and I'll just hit them really quickly. Yes. I know there's too much to get at. If you don't follow it, they're all up at mynorthwest.com to go over these. But southbound I-5 is going to be closed tomorrow night, just one night for about 6 hours to early Saturday morning, right underneath the convention center. All southbound lanes will be detoured off at Stewart. Express lanes will stay open all night long to handle that. That one should have the least amount of impact. That's just Friday night to early Saturday morning. But southbound I-405 is going to be closed from Totem Lake at 124th all the way down to 70th in Kirkland. That entire stretch closed southbound. Detour will take you off by the Costco there, so that's going to be brutal. That's from 11 o'clock tomorrow night to 4 a.m. Monday. Northbound 405 will be closed in Renton from 11 p.m. to tomorrow to 4 a.m. Monday, right there through the Renton S-curves. And southbound 167 will be closed in Kent, again from 11 o'clock tomorrow night to 4 a.m. on Monday morning. So full weekend closures on 3 of the 4 freeways that they are doing for the construction and the maintenance work that they need to get done with these mega projects that are all coming together on those same corridors at the same time. Yeah, it's going to be rough. No matter where you're going, you're going to feel this. Even if these aren't going to touch your particular ride or your drive, you're going to feel it.
All right. I usually don't really, because I don't know. There's always traffic, so that's how I look at it.
I get it.
However, I am impacted by this, so I need to ask you.
Okay.
So I need to be in Kirkland at 10 a.m. on Sunday, and then I'll be there for about a couple hours, and I'm leaving at 12. Am I about to be impacted coming from Tacoma?
Yeah, well, the first thing you do is stay with I-5, obviously, because you can't go through Renton on 405.
So I-5 to 520?
Yep, if you want to pay the toll. You can take 90 if you want to go for free and go up because you'll be north of that closure in Renton by that time. So you'll have to come up I-5, take one of the lake bridges and get over.
Okay.
Where in Kirkland are you going to be? You don't have to be super specific, but are you around 85th?
Close to Lake Washington High School.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's go. What are the Go Kangs? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is from there, G, you might be able to go over the top if you wanted to through Kenmore and go all the way around to avoid the southbound closure that'll be south of you there at Totem Lake.
Okay.
You could go all the way through Kirkland itself and go, but that's going to be really, really bogged down from everybody near 85th by Urban Eyes there to kind of work their way around. So that's going to be tough coming home. But you might want to consider going up over the top through Kenmore to avoid that southbound closure in right there through 85th and
so
to
for
70th.
everyone to listen to the traffic, I-5 south and north and south is cool.
Yeah, except for Friday night. From about 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., southbound I-5 is going to be closed under the convention center.
That only impacts people going to the club.
Yeah, or coming home from the club. Yeah, or as Marguerite from Lacey, who I know texts a lot, she's going to a concert at T-Mobile Park. She's working. She works at one of the stores there, big time listener. She's like, is that going to impact me? I'm like, no, you're south of that. You're south of the closure. You should be fine. But yeah,
and you have all the details on mynorthwest.com.
Plus what all they're doing, plus what the work is, why they're having to do it now.
It just feels like...
Yeah, this is probably one of the worst where we've had this many freeways closed at once.
Like why it has to all be at once. And then you said, but it's going to get even worse next week.
Yeah, the month of hell begins next week.
That's great.
What's that about?
That's the Revive I-5. That's where we have a month long of just 2 lanes going northbound across the Ship Canal Bridge. Bookended by a full closure of northbound I-5 across the Ship Canal next weekend and the end of the project in April. Right through the middle of Seafair, as I call it, the month of hell. It's going to be brutal because the express lanes are going to stay open northbound during that entire trip. So all of my friends or all my people, my neighbors who come down from Snohomish County and use the express lanes in the morning, they'll be closed going southbound. So all of that traffic that normally goes there in the morning, they're going to have to stay on the main line. So that's going to back up southbound I-5 as well.
Wow.
And that's for a month. As they do the Revive I-5 work. So, yeah, next weekend, full closure going into a month of lane closures, again, northbound across the Ship Canal Bridge. That one's going to be brutal.
Okay, you were talking about lane striping, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are they going to actually make the lane stripes visible?
You're funny. You're funny. And who texted you that? Is that funny? Yeah. You're funny,
actually,
aren't you?
Our producer texted it to me, especially at night and in the rain, because, those of us,
we call them ghost lanes.
Of a certain experience in life,
yeah,
it gets even harder to see those stripes.
And the problem with that is the reason why they do that is because we have such limited area to add improvements or to widen or do things that we have to move our work zones like constantly. Like one weekend you'll be driving in the right lane, the next weekend you'll be driving in the left lane while the lanes are closed. And because of that, they have to restripe every single time. And the ones they use are temporary. And then they get washed away or they get sun glare. And so we have ghost lanes all over the place. And that's just a byproduct of working inside of a small area. The plan is when they're done, they go through and restripe officially. But we're not to that point yet of getting the construction to where we go to final striping. They're doing some, construction, primarily concrete work, paving work. That's really what they're doing primarily this weekend, and some maintenance. But yeah, it's, most of the work can happen year round, but this kind of stuff, you need better weather, dry weather to pave. And all of these projects are kind of coming together at the same time. They've been working on them for years. And they, if you want an expanded 405, if you want better expansion joints on 167.
We'll feel an
it has to happen.
You're saying after all this is done, we'll feel an improvement.
I mean, ask about the people who live in Tacoma. I mean, it only took you 25 years to get I-5 to be good in the morning, right? Only 25 years, and now it's fine. Good luck, everybody. Yeah, go to mynorthwest.com if you want to get all the details. I'll answer all your text questions as well.
Chris,
there's a lot going on.
Chris, you realize, like in other countries like Australia, they have glow-in-the-dark lane striping on freeways, and we're still dealing with stuff that washes off in the rain.
Yeah, well, they were founded by criminals, so what? Who no, just kidding.
Why can't we have nice things?
They do lots of things in Europe, too, where they put up screens over accidents so we don't have looky-loos. Why can't we do that either? I don't know.
Which country was founded by criminals?
Australia. Oh. Well, they're just Europe's. Wasn't founded by, it was run by.
Oh. Well. Coming up next, 9:47, Would You Rather? Ursula is super excited about this segment, and this is going to be every Thursday at 9:47. We do that next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO News Radio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Home. Home is where you gather. With friends. With family.
Ball to right field. It continues. Jorge Polanco.
Sometimes even folks you don't know. But in a way, you do. Because you share at least one thing in common. And one thing can be pretty powerful when it's multiplied by 40,000.
Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Welcome home.
The next Mariners homestand gets started with an AL West showdown against the Astros July 18th to 20th. Don't miss your chance to catch Cal and the crew square off against their division rivals at T-Mobile Park. Then it's 3 straight Mariners value games versus the Brewers, July 21st to 23rd. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
And now, tales of another way. You're packing for a trip. Stuffing clothes in a suitcase works mostly. But such chaos in your carry-on. Then you try packing cubes. Organization? Meet harmony. Sometimes another way is the better way. Like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads, plus provide better access to the ports. It's open now. Try it free through summer. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Bucky's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Bucky's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Bucky's.com. Bucky's, where your car feels right at home.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, we've got a new administration. What have we seen as a result at the IRS?
Well, the result that I think everyone has seen is, unfortunately, reduction in staff.
And yet people think that because of those reductions, they're in a better spot.
Well, it's not necessarily the case because the IRS is still going to work with the staff that they have. And in fact, their collection activity is going up.
But now is also the best time to get something done that could be favorable to the taxpayer who owes.
It's very interesting. I've had 2 cases now where that I was able to get settled with the IRS fairly quickly and with some excellent results. I think they're just trying to get any case where there's a real live person working on it through the system quicker. They're needing to handle a lot more cases. The caseload isn't going to slow down.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I've got to get a new car, and things are crazy right now. 1 minute costs are up, the next minute it's something new.
Go to Subaru Puyallup. Their stress-free promises never changed. Through natural disasters, supply hiccups, you name it.
So they're still holding today's prices?
Yeah, they have over 300 Subarus still at current rates and guaranteed stress-free pricing and trade-ins. You should get in now.
I really need to swing by there. Want to go with?
Let's go.
Secure today's pricing on tomorrow's car at Subaru Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Okay, everybody, it is the Gee and Ursula Show. I don't know how this segment's going to go, but I'm going to tell you this. Every Thursday at 9:47, I'm bringing it back. The same when you used to go to that party on that Friday night and you sit around the bonfire maybe back in the Midwest and you played the game called Would You Rather. So here we go. I got 3 questions for you. Would you rather? I need participation from everybody. Here's the first one. Would you rather spend a day cleaning your worst enemy's house or have your house be dirty for a month?
I would rather spend a day cleaning my worst enemy's home because my worst enemy doesn't really exist, A.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you who my worst enemy is because I make it a point not to have enemies.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Yeah, so
what about someone you loathe?
Someone I loathe?
Yeah.
I would still do that for a day and try to understand better where that person is. Why the heck?
Would you clean Charlie Kirk's house?
So I could and we'll tell you why we're bringing up Charlie Kirk because we're going to talk about that in the 11 o'clock hour?
Yeah.
He said something that I'm telling you, if you don't denounce what he said, then I think you need to have a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror.
Okay.
That said, yes, I would do that, even with Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's get to another one.
Well, wait. How come you're not answering?
Oh, I'm definitely having my house be nasty for a month. Are you kidding me? I'm not cleaning anybody's house, worst enemy. Would you rather spend the day wearing wet socks or spend the day with a popcorn kernel stuck in your teeth?
Wet socks.
Oh, my goodness. Chef, popcorn kernel in my teeth. They're wet socks to me. I'd rather wear dirty drawers than wet socks.
Oh,
that's gross.
Heck no.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
No, I go with wet socks too.
Yes.
Because I wade in streams all the time when I'm fishing. Just squish. No big deal.
And the other thing is, no one's going to see your wet socks and no one's going to notice until you take your shoes off. But hopefully you do that in by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But popcorn kernel in your teeth, not only is that painful, but the people see it.
Nick?
I'm going to go with the socks just because there's like a chance that they could dry out later. But with the popcorn, you never know when that's coming out. And it can get so annoying with the tongue trying to just get that thing out of there. And you never know when you're going to get a toothpick.
Wow.
You're alone on this one.
Wet socks are the worst to me. Actually, when I think of people and I see people that are unhoused, that is the part that gets me, is knowing that when their socks get wet, it's over. This is why I think it is so important for people out there to get socks. Anyway, all right, here we go. Last and final one. This one has to do with here being local. Check it out. And this one is thanks to Chef. Would you rather live in Tacoma and commute to Seattle or live in Everett and commute to Seattle? Ursula?
I would rather, no offense to Tacoma because I love Tacoma, but I would rather live in Everett and commute because I think I I'd have to ask Sully on this one, but I think my commute would be easier. And for whatever reason, I am much more familiar with Everett and Snohomish County than I am Pierce County.
Okay.
How about you? Well, you do Pierce County to Seattle.
I do Pierce County.
And how long is that on average?
Well, I've been doing it earlier now, so I've taken a lot off of it. It's still about an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
I will take the commute from Tacoma to Seattle over the commute from Everett to Seattle. And here's why. There's so many different components that happen from Everett down south. there's that whole 520 interchange. What happens there? There's 90. There's all the ship. There's all kinds of stuff. That traffic coming from Everett from north to south, that is painful. Give me Tacoma to Seattle.
So is Tacoma to Seattle, though, as you just said, is like over an hour.
Yeah.
According to WashDOT, Everett to Seattle averages about 50 minutes in the general purpose lanes. Tacoma to Seattle is an hour, so you get about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
I would go with Tacoma because I like Everett, but I think Tacoma has way more going on than Everett.
Oh, now that's another good point.
Yeah.
What I get to see coming from Tacoma is much better than what I get to see coming from Everett to
I'll tell
Seattle.
you what's a really ugly sight right now, though.
What's that?
Coming northbound into Seattle. That stretch of I-5 before you hit the convention center and the freeway walls around there.
Oh, yeah.
The graffiti makes it feel like a giant garbage can.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about graffiti coming up in the next hour.
Yeah. Before we go, we got one text message. 425 says, would you rather with question marks? Middle school? Question marks? Seriously? Question mark? Hey, 425. Sorry. If this game, I like to have fun. And so
look at all the people who texted in that didn't diss the game. Yeah, we're trying to have fun. Y'all keep saying we're all so serious here. Okay, Gee, don't be hurt by that because we're going to do it again next week.
Oh, you want to do it again next week?
Yeah, let's do it again next week.
Next week?
And you know what? We'll keep refining it. We'll try to make it related to the news sometimes. And sometimes not.
I mean, sometimes we'll have 3 would you rather questions. All right. The 10 o'clock hour is coming up next. Oh, my goodness. We got a lot to discuss. At 10:30, we will be talking about churches, right? Churches, house of worships. Do you think that they should endorse political candidates? We'll talk about that at 10:30. And up next, we do kind of have an update. When we talked about the ICE officers that arrested the woman in White Center, we're going to update you on that information. We do all of that next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We get the latest live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news.
A minimum wage increase proposal is moving forward in unincorporated King County.
KIRO News Radio.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Linwood Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Linwood Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Linwood Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Linwood Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Linwood Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandswimspasale.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. A federal judge in New Hampshire has paused President Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship from taking effect anywhere in the U.S. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
For now, we have a federal judge saying that it would impose irreparable harm because American citizenship is the greatest privilege that exists in the world, and that the court does have the power, even under the recent Supreme Court ruling, to apply that to a class action lawsuit.
121 have been confirmed dead now in the Texas flood disaster. More than 170 others remain unaccounted for.
First responders working the Guadalupe River found one more body yesterday, bringing the total confirmed dead in Kerr County to 96. 60 adults, 36 children, 5 girls, and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic among the missing. Kerrville Police Sergeant Jonathan Lamb.
There's more than 2,100 responders on the ground here from state, local, and federal agencies working to reunite victims with families.
So far, 10 states have sent specially trained teams to assist. 2 more en route. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
There's a threat of more flooding in southern New Mexico. 3 deaths were blamed on this week's flooding, and New Mexico Representative Melanie Stansbury says,
"We are expecting additional rain. There are homes and people that will be in harm's way. We will protect New Mexicans, but if you live here in Ruidoso, follow the emergency evacuation orders.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass applauds rescuers who got to more than 24 construction workers who were trapped in a tunnel collapse hundreds of feet underground.
When we raced down here, I was so concerned that we were going to find tragedy. Instead, what we found was victory. All of the men that were in that tunnel rescued up safe.
No major injuries reported. Overseas, Russia blitzed Ukraine with a series of missile and drone attacks, hitting the capital Kyiv hard. A new UN report criticizes the effect of Trump administration cuts in the fight against AIDS.
The $4 billion the U.S. had pledged for this year alone disappeared virtually overnight when President Trump ordered the suspension of all foreign aid. U.S. funding and investment helped reduce the number of AIDS deaths to a 3-decade low. But the new report says that if the funding isn't restored, the world will see more than 4 million AIDS-related deaths and 6 million more HIV infections by 2029. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
The Italian company Ferrero, maker of Nutella, buying the cereal maker Kellogg in a $3 billion deal. The Dow is up 250. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
We're hearing from the young teen who rescued a boy from drowning. That story coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Bothell, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 southbound at State Route 527. You're backed out through Canyon Park. In Issaquah, fire crews have wrapped up work that had been blocking a lane off I-90 westbound near Front Street. Your backup is cleared. And in Tacoma, a reminder of there is road work on State Route 16 westbound near Jackson Avenue. Travel times, Everett to Seattle, 48 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 43. Traffic brought to you by Fred Meyer Pharmacy, which welcomes Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense Plan members. You can transfer prescriptions at fredmeyer.com/payerupdate.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. 2 people were shot this morning at Fife and now 5 arrested. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports.
Bullet casings were scattered across the parking lot between a Starbucks and a Motel 6 near Fife High School. Police Chief Doug Newman tells me Tacoma police found the 2 men who were shot.
They were out with a vehicle that appeared to have 2 victims of gunshot wounds. Those victims came from our scene in Fife.
Police say 2 of the 5 people arrested are primary suspects. No word on what led up to the shooting other than some kind of confrontation. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Renton police use a heat imaging drone to find a hit-and-run suspect hiding in bushes.
Keep your hands up. Do not make any sudden movements. Walk towards us.
Police say a 23-year-old Seattle man crashed his car Tuesday and made a run for it. Police tracked him down and discovered he was armed with a stolen pistol modified as a machine gun. A young teenager is recounting the moments he saved a boy who'd fallen from Thornton Park Dock in Everett over the weekend. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin has more.
13-year-old Gage Bryant says he came out here to Silver Lake just to enjoy the warm day. Then he heard the boy's mom screaming.
She was like, he doesn't know how to swim and I can't find him. And I dove under and I saw him passed out in a cradle underneath the dock.
After almost 6 minutes of being trapped underwater,
I pushed him up above me and they grabbed him and then I climbed on the dock as quick as I could and started doing chest compressions before other people started running over.
Everett firefighters say the boy was rushed to the hospital.
He's in critical condition but expected to survive. Is your trash getting picked up? Striking workers at Republic Services in Thurston County claim their work stoppage is expanding to King and Snohomish counties because drivers there are honoring the strike. Matt McQuaid with the Teamsters Union.
Teamsters don't cross picket lines, so they are not reporting to work because there's a picket line at their job.
Workers say they're striking for better pay and benefits. Republic says they'll haul away double the trash on their customers' next pickup day. You'd think it would be prime real estate, but a parking lot near Seattle Center just sold for way less than expected. It's on First Avenue North, just steps from Climate Pledge Arena, and it sold for $2.5 million, about 37% below its assessed value, according to the Puget Sound Business Journal. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy skies today today with highs in the low 70s. It is 60 in downtown Seattle. I'm Claire Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Oh, we're here, y'all. It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, July 10th. And Ursula, I got to tell you, all my brothers and sisters on the Gee and Ursula Show, a lot of y'all like that Would You Rather game.
I think they really loved it.
And I think
with the exception of one.
I think what it is, according to what I've been reading, it is an opportunity to weigh in and have fun and hey, would you rather walk around in wet socks or have a popcorn kernel in your teeth?
Learn a little bit more about us, and we learn a little bit more about you because we want you to weigh in. And it just takes a break. It's like a palate cleanser from all the hard news. And you know I love news. You know I got to connect everything to the news.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay, just a reminder, you are an important part of our show. Our text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And yes, we do see you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Watching us out there.
Checking in with YouTube right now. Okay.
And just a reminder, also coming up at 10:30, we are going to talk about some of the big national news that you don't want to miss. But right now,
What's new at 10?
we do have an update on a controversial story from yesterday. We had called it a possible ICE raid in White Center, and this is how it went down.
Look what's happening, bro. No, not the food lady. No way.
So as of yesterday, ICE was not confirming either to the Seattle Times or King 5 News whether the three masked men with no real law enforcement credentials visible, they took that woman from the parking lot, and we did not have confirmation, at least we didn't think we did, that they were actually ICE officers.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is crazy. No. First hand, right here, experience.
Well, ICE has now confirmed to the Jason Rantz show on KTTH that it was their officers who seized the woman who is known as the food lady. And ICE Seattle says the woman who was arrested is an illegal immigrant with a criminal history for driving under the influence, allegedly in San Antonio, Texas. And apparently there's some kind of charge of prostitution, too. That wasn't real clear, but ICE tells Jason Rantz that she skipped town to avoid legal consequences. And he was saying, well, this is, for ICE, this is a routine arrest. And I wanted to just follow up because now we have a little bit more information. They say she's here illegally. They say that she has a DUI in her background. Mm-hmm. And that may be the case, but that still doesn't change the methods in which I think they're going about these things, which I think causes unnecessary chaos and fear.
The landlord serves an eviction notice, and now it is the date for the tenant to leave. The landlord walks into the house and grabs all of the tenant's things and throws them outside onto the ground. Yeah, I think the landlord and I think the tenant should leave. But I think it is the delivery. It is the show. In this case, this woman, DWI, prostitution arrest, should she be deported? Yes. Yes, she should. Does it have to be that way? No. It could have easily. This is someone who goes to this place all the time. This would have been easy. Come on, excuse me, ma'am. Can I talk to you for a second? Yeah, you had a DUI, whatever you guys say. It didn't take her. But this show of grabbing people like it's a Scooby-Doo van, right, in the cartoon and doing that, it is all a show. It is a show to get rid of DEI. It is a show mass deportation. All of this is a show so the commander in grift can grift and take all of the money. all of the crypto that is unregulated, everything that you guys are paying attention to while they get rich, rich, rich.
Well, I'm curious, and I would love it because, we have a lot of law enforcement who listen. I would love to hear from if anyone working for ICE would like to weigh in on this. We have not heard from anyone on our text line. Obviously, we would have to have some way of verifying that. But there is an article in The Atlantic this morning that says Trump loves ICE, but its workforce has never been so miserable. And they were saying basically that ICE's Homeland Security Investigations Division, usually their focus is on cartels, major drug trafficking operations, and now they've had to basically set those cases aside so that they have more time to make immigration enforcement arrests. So this is what a veteran agent was telling The Atlantic. This person was saying no drug cases, no human trafficking, no child exploitation. It is infuriating. And so that particular employee said, I'm thinking about quitting rather than having to continue arresting gardeners. That was a quote.
Right.
Another one, a 33-year-old attorney who resigned from ICE's legal department last month, told The Atlantic that he left because the mission is no longer about protecting the homeland from threats. Essentially, Adam Boyd said this became a contest of how many deportations could be reported to Stephen Miller by December. And he said that he saw frustration among many of the ICE attorneys because their cases were getting thrown out just so that the officer teams could grab their clients in the hallways for fast-track deportations and essentially pad the statistics. And remember that quote that we had from Stephen Miller, who, Chef, what was the number that he said that?
Well, he wants $1 million per year, but $3,000 per day.
$3,000 per day. And so, again, the question would be, is this protecting the homeland? Is this emphasis now de-emphasizing child trafficking, drug trafficking, and putting the emphasis on getting the food lady out? Or, and again, I don't think there's anybody who disagrees with getting people who've committed violence or who are a danger to the community to get them out.
Ursula, I tell you what, just take off the mask. And wait. Just take off the mask and stop doing
identify yourself.
And you walk around with ICE. I'm cool with that. And if you're going around and you're like, hey, G, I don't care what you said, we're going around. If you have an arrest record and you have this on a criminal type of arrest record, hopefully it's violent because you guys said you were only going after violent folks, but neither here or there. If you've committed crimes and all, and you want to do that above board, fine. The whole point is the way that you're doing it. The whole point is I just want to remind everyone, in L.A. right now, there are still Marines deployed in L.A. Just so we're clear, this is on purpose. You look at the playbook that Stephen Miller, a.k.a. Donald Trump, but Stephen Miller has done. Bring fear to the community. Make you not trust the media. Gut the government. Get rid of all of those people inside of government that knows what's happening. You replace them with loyalists. Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, all of these people. The entire playbook is happening before us. And so you're probably saying, well, this doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother you until it does. You see, I'm a black man. I know what it's like when stop and frisk was a thing. I know what it's like to be pulled over for no reason. I know what it's like to be pulled over and put onto the ground face down and searched. I know what those things are like. I know what it's like to be in neighborhoods when no-knock warrants happen and people come into your house, tear up everything and say, oops, we got the wrong house. I know about those things. But what I am saying is it's all fun and games until it comes to your neighborhood. And if you don't say or speak up now, it eventually will come to your neighborhood. It might come to your son. It might come to your daughter. It might come to her boyfriend, come to their husband. Whatever the case might be, we cannot remain silent on this continuation of what's happening.
I think it's worth pointing out, too, and I want to put a stamp on this because, people voted in Donald Trump largely because of the border. They're bringing in the drugs. They're bringing in the rapists. They're bringing in the criminals. Quote, no drug cases, no human trafficking, no child exploitation. That's a direct quote from a current ICE employee. And ICE does some really important work.
Yes.
That is the important work right there. Like, that is what makes our communities safer. And they talked to a dozen people who work at ICE, and a lot of them are really frustrated because they believe in the mission of the agency, but they say that it's becoming what they've been accused of being in the past, which is, a goon squad of people snatching folks off the street. And it's just disgusting to see, hey, I promise, no Medicaid cuts, largest in history of the United States. We're going to get the drug traffickers, right? Nope, no drug cases, no human trafficking, no child exploitation. What promises is he keeping?
So Ed in Ballard texted in and it says, I grew up in Southern California. I'm familiar with ICE. They didn't used to wear masks, never threw women into unmarked vans. They didn't refuse to tell us where they were taking those in custody. This isn't ICE. It's Trump's personal Gestapo, which, I know that there have been a lot of references, and I'm trying to avoid going there. But, man, it's hard not to look at some of these things that are going and say, haven't we learned from history, from the history of other countries and what has happened and what has happened with their playbooks? It should be worrisome. And I mentioned it yesterday, and I'll mention it again today. This is not safe for the ICE agents as well. I mean, they were ambushed. I believe it was in Texas. I mentioned yesterday. Yeah. It's not safe for them. There's other ways to handle this.
Right. Well, you know what? For some reason, I didn't know that this was going to become a hot topic. But since we're on this topic, I got to tell you, I said something to you during the break, Ursula.
Yeah.
And here's something that I'm confused about.
Yeah.
I'm confused that the way mass deportations are happening, that for some reason, MAGA loves it. I'm confused about the whole the bill that comes out knowing that millions of Americans will lose access to health care. Some people says, yes, I voted for that. Access to food. Millions will lose access to having food assistance. We are talking about DEI, all these things. But the one thing, Ursula, that I am now seeing over the last few days, this week, is MAGA is now split on something. And this part is, I never thought it would be this. A lot of them are saying, whoa, 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 whoa. What is up with the Epstein list? What is going on? Like I am seeing people on social media that are full-blown MAGA that are saying, oh no, Donald Trump, there needs to be answers for this. Out of all the things happening, this is the one, the list?
Well, part of it is interesting. I mean, there is more of a split, but you're hearing from people like Tucker Carlson really paying a lot of attention, giving a lot of criticism to Attorney General Pam Bondi, who, if you aren't following, recently, or was it this week, said there is no Jeffrey Epstein list, even though she said that there were thousands of victims of child porn, right?
Yeah.
But she said there was no list. It was like case closed, even though earlier she had said, and there were other folks too, Dan Bongino and others who were saying, yeah, there is a list. There's a list. And then it's like, well, no, there's no list. Like, wait a minute.
Like, I never thought a day that I would agree with Alex Jones. Alex Jones is like, what's going on? Candace Owens is like, what's going on? Like, there's a real split. Like you said, Tucker Carlson. And so the thing is, and Ursula, you always we always talk about my saying of how you do anything is how you do everything. If these folks can tell us at 1 minute in February of this year that Pam Bondi, oh, you got a sound of that? No. It was on her desk. The list was on her desk, and now it doesn't exist. And we're all.
Well, she's trying to clarify and say, well, I said I have a list. I didn't say there were people on the list, but I have a list. So she's kind of backtracking
a
on
shopping
that.
list.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but that is what gets a lot of folks who are all in on everything else. They're getting upset about that. Sandy and Fairwood. So I want to make sure that others are being heard. She says, I voted for illegals to lose benefits. Okay, so that's the justification. So it's not that everybody lose benefits. Sandy and Fairwood says she would just want to have people who are here illegally lose benefits.
Okay, wait. I just want to make sure we're clear on something. So let's just say starting from here on out, starting after today, we say, you know what? We don't want anyone, undocumented immigrants in this country, being able to get any of the services, any health care. Fair? No. Let's just say we do that.
Do I believe that? No.
No. But I'm just saying, let's just say I fall in line with that. So then let's do this. If you don't have any health care, none of the hospitals can see you. Period.
It's not going to happen. The hospitals are going to see you. Yeah, I know, exactly. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
So which one is it? Which one are we going to do? Or are we just going to, you want hospitals to say no to who? You without insurance?
Yeah, and everybody, and now a bunch of people saying illegals, quote unquote, and I hate even they're people.
You know what immigrants are not qualified for? Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, welfare or TANF, Section 8 housing subsidies, federal student aid or Pell Grants, no Affordable Care Act subsidies.
How much in 2023 did they pay into the tax system? How much? $96 billion undocumented immigrants paid in taxes.
Yeah.
And can you really say with a straight face? Can you say that? Because I know Donald Trump can't, because Mar-a-Lago would not exist without. Can you really say to yourself, undocumented immigrants do nothing for our country?
Just remember, there's a restaurant down the street that told me we are taking up a collection during the pandemic. We are taking up a collection for our chef because our restaurant is going to shut down if he doesn't stay working.
Oh, and by the way, in 2015, Donald Trump even said himself that people undocumented, well, he didn't use those words, but people undocumented here trying to do things right and get an education and all those things should not be deported out of this country. But for some reason, everybody's honing in on folks that have brown skin that need to be undocumented.
Hey, coming up, can we talk about Amazon Prime Day? Because there's a report that says the first day was a bust. Was it actually a bust? Are you holding back on spending right now? G. Okay, answer that coming up next.
Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
You listen to Seattle's morning news every morning. What do Charlie and Manda listen to every afternoon?
I absolutely love listening to John Curley because he makes you think, which I love.
John has a real special talent in being able to talk about the topics we care about, but he's always trying to make it fun. You're going, oh, this guy actually gets it.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7. Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio App.
Hey there, Dawn Reiling with Olympic Hot Tub. Say hello to summer and hello to savings on your very own saltwater hot spring spa. Through May 26th, we have special pricing on the best hot tub you can own and interest-free financing till 2030. It's time to start feeling better every day with a healthy, soothing soak. Are you ready? Learn more at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Subaru of Puyallup is known for making your car buying experience stress-free no matter what. Olivia here from Subaru of Puyallup. We've provided stress-free sales and service through storms, supply hiccups, even a pandemic. You can count on a stress-free experience no matter what's around the corner. Right now, we have over 300 brand new Subaru vehicles on the lot with stress-free pricing plus excellent stress-free trade-in values. Come in and secure today's pricing on tomorrow's car at Subaru of Puyallup.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
And now, tales of another way. You're packing for a trip. Stuffing clothes in a suitcase works mostly. But such chaos in your carry-on. Then you try packing cubes. Organization? Meet harmony. Sometimes another way is the better way. Like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads, plus provide better access to the ports. It's open now. Try it free through summer. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Jason Rantz here with our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
The Battle of the Brands Hot Tub Expo is back. Tacoma Mall parking lot. Top brands competing for your business. Deep discounts from jacuzzi hot tubs, Dreammaker spas, Nordic hot tubs, Sundance spas, even hydropool self-cleaning swim spas. In stock and ready for immediate delivery. Save thousands. Hot tubs from $99 a month. Brands compete. You save. The Battle of the Brands Expo, presented by Aquaquip. Tacoma Mall parking lot starts Friday. Qualified buyers with credit approval pay just $99 a month for a Dreammaker cabana with $500 deposit, 10.99%, and 144-month term. Other offers available. See us at Tacoma Mall for more details.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Seattle Children's is leading the fight against pediatric cancer with groundbreaking immunotherapy. But research is underfunded and kids need your help. Join Safeway and say yes at checkout to donate to Immunoheroes. Let's fight cancer for all kidkind.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event, going on right now through July 20th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump's order ending birthright citizenship by granting the case class action status. Legal expert Lori Levinson.
We'll have to see if this new order by the federal judge survives, but it's a pretty clear indication that the courts continue to think that President Trump violated the Constitution.
Trump wants to stop the practice of granting U.S. citizenship to everyone born in the U.S. President Trump has signed a budget that freezes Medicaid payments to Planned Parenthood, and Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson says he's taking action.
Governor Ferguson, flanked by Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal and representatives from Planned Parenthood at a press conference Wednesday in Seattle.
It really is sometimes difficult to find the words to communicate just how cruel and wrong something is.
Governor Ferguson vowing, despite the state's budget crisis, his plans to divert state resources and ensure Planned Parenthood is adequately funded. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is responding to news that someone's using artificial intelligence to impersonate him and then contacting government and foreign officials.
Generally, I communicate with my counterparts around the world through official channels for a reason, and that's to avoid this.
Rubio says more incidents like this can be expected as AI becomes more prevalent. The latest now on recovery efforts after flash flooding in central Texas. Here's CBS's Karen Hua.
121 people are dead across the state of Texas, and about 170 are missing. That's not much of a change from yesterday's numbers, but still very devastating just to comprehend.
Neil Clausen's cleaning up after flash floods in New Mexico that left a man and 2 children dead.
I'm just trying to salvage my stuff, it's just stuff.
More flooding is expected. Here in the greater Seattle area, 4 freeways are going to close for construction and maintenance over the weekend. KIRO News Radio's Chris Sullivan has the breakdown.
Southbound 405 will be closed between Totem Lake and Kirkland. Northbound 405 will be closed between 169 and Sunset in Renton. Southbound 167 will be closed between Willis and 277th in Kent. These closures start late Friday night and last through early Monday morning. Southbound 5 will be closed at Stewart in Seattle from late Friday night to early Saturday morning.
Road crews are taking advantage of the somewhat drier summer weather to get work done. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 272 points, NASDAQ ahead 27. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Bothell, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 southbound at State Route 527. You're slow from Canyon Park almost to Alderwood. You're slow on I-5 both directions through Federal Way and slow on State Route 18 from about the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. Travel times improving. Everett to Seattle, 31 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 32. Renton to Bellevue, also about half an hour. Traffic brought to you by the KIRO Radio Rundown. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy skies today with highs in the low 70s. It's 60 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. I think we got a lot of people worked up in our last segment, and we're going to lighten it up here. So I was going to talk about graffiti. I'm moving that because I want to go off on that. So we're going to talk about Amazon Prime Day, which has been extended, and it might not be the cash cow that it once was, at least not yet. And this is why. A major sales manager says sales dropped 41% on day one compared to last year. Now, Amazon is pushing back. They're saying that the report is highly inaccurate. They're pointing out that Prime Day is now 4 days long, not just 2. So shoppers might just be pacing themselves. Tell us if that's what you're doing. Adobe Analytics tells a different story, saying that total online sales were actually up more than 10%, thanks in part to competing deals from Walmart, Target, and Wayfair. But Momentum Commerce, which manages $7 billion in Amazon sales, says many shoppers seem to be waiting, not rushing, or maybe just not going to buy because of all the economic uncertainty and tighter wallets. So my question, I asked you this morning, have you bought anything? I did check out the deals, but have you bought anything on Amazon with the Prime Day deals?
No, I haven't. And I wasn't purposely doing it. I know that a spokesperson from Amazon is disputing these claims about it being down. My personal opinion, I believe it. I believe that right now, because of the uncertainty that is happening, the deadlines moving back and forth with the tariffs and everything, we all know that the day one promise of prices being lower and you being able to purchase things, we know that that wasn't true, because right now people financially there's some that are struggling and there's some that aren't. And I want to speak to the ones that are not struggling, because sometimes on this show, we're always talking about folks that's struggling. I tend to do that. I want to talk about the ones that are not struggling. You're doing okay. You're doing just fine. And here's what I believe about those folks. I believe even those folks that are doing just fine are also watching their spending.
Well, tell us if you're in that category. Are you?
Yeah, I really think I think that even if you are well-to-do and you're doing okay financially, I think that right now, because of we don't know where things are headed, we don't know where things are going, because of that uncertainty. You talk to your financial advisor. You talk to people that do this for a living, and they cannot give you a direct answer. And the only response that they can give you is, hey, yes, you're doing your 401ks, you're doing all your stocks, you're doing all your portfolio, but also you need to have some liquid cash as well. So I think right now, spending, this is why we are seeing local restaurants that are struggling. People are kind of taking a break and or a pause because of what's going on.
Yeah, I saw one of the headlines, though, and I saw some folks on social media saying, well, it's just another sign that that we're heading into a recession, or we're in a recession, that Amazon Prime Day. Maybe it is because it has been extended to 4 days. Mm-hmm. I know that I looked at the deals, and quite frankly, I just thought they aren't that great of deals. And I'm not going to just get sucked in. At least I looked, but I'm not going to get sucked in thinking that I'm really saving a lot of money when, again, I'm going to say, unless it's perfume or something that I desperately need, and perfume is a want, not a need, I'm just not interested at this point. But I'd love to hear from all of you folks. Hey, did you hear about how much I dislike graffiti? I need to squeeze this story in because there's a new Seattle bill that wants to crack down hard on graffiti. Okay. And the message is basically, let's make it hurt. The City Council's Public Safety Committee just voted to increase the proposed fine for graffiti tagging to $1,500 per violation, which is up from $1,000 in the original bill. And Councilmember Rob Saka is the one who is really pushing for the hike. He says the data shows from the City Attorney's Office that many of the most prolific taggers, the ones who are most guilty, are not actually struggling teens, but they are adults with full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. Who just think it's fun, or they get a kick out of it.
Sure.
Folks like me, and I know a lot of you, just get really frustrated. So if passed, the violators could still opt for community service instead, like 75 hours worth based on the city's minimum wage. But Rob Saka says, yeah, we need to make this hurt for them financially. What do you think?
I mean, sure. Here's what I think. I've been doing this show with you a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to you, man? Like, did somebody pin you down?
I know you've asked if someone
did somebody pin you down and spray paint you?
No.
Why are you?
You've asked me that before, and I'm telling you, it's like someone messing with your house. Mm-hmm. You asked yesterday. You said, "I'm really proud of Tacoma." Now, if Tacoma looked like a pigsty when you drive in and out of it because people just put graffiti everywhere, would you feel really happy about that?
No.
No, you wouldn't.
But I got none. This is my own research. I think that there is less graffiti today than ever. I don't think people graffiti like they used to.
I think that there are some stretches where it's gotten a lot better, and because there's been more of a concerted effort, and it's because of folks like Dave Ross and myself who keep complaining about graffiti, where it has to become a priority. But the city of Seattle says there were nearly 29,000 graffiti incidents last year. That costs all of us taxpayers $6 million in cleanup. Yes, I say yes to $1,500 per violation. Make it hurt.
I like the I-5 graffiti.
I know you do, and I don't understand
by Northgate, it's really colorful on the new walls that they built by the light rail. It's like it looks like a beautiful mural to me. I love it. I don't like tagging. I don't like marking up businesses, but the freeway stuff
But once you open it up, and I'm not talking about commissioned art or, some of those murals that you see that are gorgeous on walls. Yeah, I think that helps the character of the neighborhood. But all that scribbling, especially on northbound I-5, like I said, heading into Seattle, you're looking at this beautiful skyline, and then you look at the side like, ew, it's terrible. So good for you.
Before we leave this topic, we were talking about Amazon and our people spending, and people are texting in saying, I've been watching my spending. I was talking about a financial planner yesterday, and he was just like, hey, so I see your portfolio and everything like that, but so your liquid cash that you have about this much, right? And I was like, no. Ursula, do you know how awful he made me feel? He didn't intentionally do it. He didn't.
But does he understand the circumstances? Like right now, you are working nonstop, but you're pretty much making up for years that you were struggling.
I know. And so my point is that little ask really did something to me. And so that's why you're asking about this whole Amazon and and the people not buying.
Yeah.
Right now,
a lot of folks are texting and saying, they've held
chilling.
back.
I'm chilling. I'm really getting ready to, being for real now. Getting ready to go on a real, stop spending deal.
Okay, gee.
Huh.
You told me that 2 weeks ago.
I know. And I was talking stuff. But I got hit with something yesterday. So.
Okay, you got a reality check.
Yeah. All right, let's do a little bit of scenarios. We'll have fun and judge other people's lives. We do that next. Gee Ursula.
The first place you turn to for breaking news.
Protest outside City Hall.
KIRO News Radio.
James Lynch begins our team coverage live at City Hall.
Now, we are told by SPD that 4 people have been arrested for assault. For more on the counter-protesters, we go to Scott Carty.
See a group of another 10 officers come down the steps.
Closures now extended from Washington closer to the stadiums.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. And download the KIRO News Radio app to listen anytime.
Listen up, folks. If you think finding chrome hearts is tough, well, let me tell you, Urbanize in Kirkland Urban has cracked the code. That's right. They are one of the rare stores vetted by Chrome Heart, giving us the exclusive honor to have these luxury and style. Forget hopping on a plane to Vegas. Why bother when you can find an exquisite selection of Chrome Hearts frames right here at Urbanize. Founded in 1988 in Los Angeles, this brand has worked with legends like Guns N' Roses and the Rolling Stones. And now you can rock their iconic eyewear without the travel and hassle. So why wait? Elevate your style with Chrome Hearts at Urbanize right now. This is where luxury meets accessibility. Go on over there to Urbanize and go and ask to speak to Dr. Dana. Dr. Dana and her team are incredible. So swing by today and see what everyone's talking about when it comes to Chrome Hearts. Urbanize in the heart of Kirkland Urban. Book your appointment today with myurbanize.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic is your best plan for long-term well-being and personalized health care. Dr. Mixon, let me ask you a question. How long have some of your patients been working with you?
And we've got patients now that have been with us for over 20 years that are in their 90s who came to us in their 60s. The grandparents now in their 90s are living independently. They're not on walkers, they're not on canes, they're not headed for nursing homes.
I meet people and they ask about, wow, you're in great shape. You have 12% body fat and stuff. What's the secret? I said, it's not a secret. Longevity Medical Clinic has been there for 25 years. There is no secret to the fact that if you make those small changes, you avoid the big, bad, horrible stuff that most of us just think, well, this is what's supposed to happen to me.
And if you're heading downhill and you don't change your direction, you're going to continue going downhill. And what we do at Longevity is we redirect you and we take you back up the hill.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Linwood Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Linwood Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Linwood Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Linwood Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Linwood Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Steely Dan fans, Nearly Dan brings their powerhouse tribute to Dimitro's Jazz Alley this Thursday through Sunday, July 13th. 6 shows, 12 top-tier musicians, and all the hits. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Had to let that play, Nick. That's all. There we go. Scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
My husband is furious with me, and he's way out of line. He's in the middle of a huge landscaping project in our yard and needed some things at the big box store. So he asked me to take his truck and pick up a load of blocks. No problem, but I needed help. He told me, figure it out. You're a great woman with natural charm and female talent. Whoa.
What
Whoa.
the heck?
Whew. That place is full of guys willing to help a woman like you, he says. I trust you to find a way to get it done. I changed into my best, hottest, tightest jeans and a plain white shirt. And he was told, man, I'm having to really alter this one. And he was right. I told them I may need help loading this stuff, and 3 guys volunteered. They were super nice and even asked for a picture with me before I left. I went home. He asked how it went, and I told him he was right. All I had to do was ask. And then he saw what I was wearing, and he did not like it. He accused me of dressing the way that I shouldn't have dressed, and it was dressed inappropriate. I told him if it was his idea and if he didn't like it, he should have did it himself. Now he's furious, but I have to admit, I did kind of like the attention. I don't want to have a war with my husband over this, but I won't apologize. 888-973-5476. Ursula, you have to bat first.
Man, this sounds like a relationship that has a lot of problems that goes way beyond needing to get bricks at Home Depot or wherever that was.
Mama
first
needs
of
some
all,
attention.
they're starving for attention. And first of all, he butters her up. Oh, with your womanly ways, you can go to the home improvement store and get some men to help you. Things my husband has never said in nearly 40 years of marriage. I mean, please. So first of all, and then she buys that line. I would have just said, no, how about you take a break from your work, come with me, I'll help you.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's like, and then she dresses up and then gets the attention and then now she's bragging about it.
Right.
It sounds like a very immature couple. I predict divorce soon.
You know what this is? This situation is? This situation is the husband that tells his wife, hey, you know what? I think we should open up our marriage.
Whoa.
And she's hesitant about it at first, but she decides, okay, I'll go for it. And she ends up loving it, and he can't handle it. Did not know what he was asking for, did not know what he was getting himself into, thought it would be fun, turns out it wasn't, but she's still having a great time. Good luck, buddy.
I mean,
The dude is gross.
Ursula, you called it. The husband, use your female talents and go to the store and figure out how to get, like, wait, what? You really,
Would that be my gift of gab, perhaps?
Like
that I could ask some of the people working there to help me?
How disrespectful to your wife can you be? That's one.
Yeah. Yes.
But you know what? I was getting ready to get on her for a second, but actually I'm not. Because there's a reason why she craved this attention. Because the husband is the same person that says, hey, wife, go and use your female talents. So any man that is okay with sending his wife out like that, probably throughout the course, don't show her any attention. So when she got to the store and there was some dudes that gave her that righteous attention like she needed and deserved, she liked it.
Yeah, I want to just know where is this store? Like Tracy and Burien points out, isn't that a service that most of the stores offer? I've almost always been asked if I need assistance. I mean, it is tougher to find help these days. However, if you're carrying something really heavy, I'm pretty sure you can find help.
Can I say the quiet part out loud?
Yeah.
I'm sure some get help faster and longer than others.
Oh.
Bravo.
Somebody listening right now say, yeah, I've done that. Nick, what do you got, bro?
You know, well, as much as I'm not about this approach for trying to get their personal chores done, it was still effective. I'll admit, though, this is not the direction I was expecting the guy to go with her after sending her out to, some Home Depot, now almost, in a sense, putting her out there like some sort of cunning tease with hardware dudes. If they want to go with the Mr. and Mrs. Smith route, so be it. But don't expect anyone to trust you from here, because that's just a slippery strategy to just put her out there like that.
Agree. Okay, can I read two quick texts?
Yeah.
Shane, okay, I'm going to read as is. He's asking for it. Be grateful you've got a hot wife and stop treating her like... And then there's Beth in Tacoma who says, and why do I even have a husband? Get your butt in the truck before I smack you.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, being for real though, if that
would be if my husband said, why don't you go out there and go get the heavy stuff
and go figure out how to get it done. Now, see, you know what? I can really go on about this topic, but I'm just going to tell you this. Sometimes, fellas, when you do stuff like that and they go into that store and they meet that Mr. Do-Right, and man, from everything you do from here on out is Mr. Do-Wrong. So here's the goal for the day. Don't let because Mr. Do-Right is waiting. You think there's some people at Home Depot that's excuse me, ma'am, can I help you with anything? Anything that you need? Anything. Coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, we got to agree to disagree coming up at 11:30. And then also, we'll tell you some news top at 11 o'clock, including what did Charlie Kirk have to say about DEI? Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
What's as American as apple pie? Hot tubs. And during our All-American Hot Tub event, you'll get sweet savings on a fabulous saltwater hot tub and enjoy interest-free financing through 2028. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
The Battle of the Brands Hot Tub Expo is back. Tacoma Mall parking lot. Top brands competing for your business. Deep discounts from Jacuzzi Hot Tubs, Dreammaker Spas, Nordic Hot Tubs, Sundance Spas, even Hydro Pool self-cleaning swim spas. In stock and ready for immediate delivery. Save thousands. Hot tubs from $99 a month. Brands compete. You save. The Battle of the Brands Expo presented by Aquaquip. Tacoma Mall parking lot starts Friday. Qualified buyers with credit approval pay just $99 a month for a Dreammaker Cabana with $500 deposit, 10.99%, and 144-month term. Other offers available. See us at Tacoma Mall for more details.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Supreme Court limited nationwide injunctions, but left open other avenues to challenge the president's executive order ending birthright citizenship. Now a New Jersey or New Hampshire judge has paused the president's order and will certify a class action lawsuit. CBS's Scott McFarland reports.
As soon as that Supreme Court ruling came down, a group of attorneys got together, filed a class action suit to stop this birthright citizenship attempt. And a judge in New Hampshire says this accords with the Supreme Court ruling ruling, and he will halt it for a week, but the battle continues.
The Trump administration is moving to block more services for those in this country illegally. Alexander Tin has that.
The Trump administration has taken a new step to stop undocumented immigrants from benefiting from an array of federally funded grant programs like Head Start and health centers, reversing a Clinton-era policy that had exempted several programs from using immigration status to determine eligibility. It follows an executive order by President Trump signed earlier this year aimed at curbing incentives for illegal immigration.
In Texas, searchers are still scouring areas to find victims from the catastrophic floods. Jonathan Lamb of the Kerrville Police Department.
It is a methodical search which ensures that every area in an area to be searched is covered and searched and that no stone is left unturned.
Reporter Karen Wong.
We are on day 7, and while officials have not outright come out and declared this a recovery mission, the last known survivor was found on Friday, 7 days ago, on the 4th of July.
The death toll is now at 121. New Mexico's Governor Lujan Grisham gave an update today on the recovery efforts after a deadly flash flood in Ruidoso.
It's a terrible, vicious cycle. We save lives, we respond to the emergency. 65 swift water rescues. Then we start to do the short-term recovery. And given that we're in monsoon season, this pattern repeats itself over and over again.
One of America's oldest cereal makers has been sold to an Italian company. Vicky Barker reports.
Get on the Kellogg's old brand wagon.
Kellogg's has been a staple of American breakfast tables since 1906, as American as apple pie.
Kinder Chocolate.
Now, the Italian owners of Kinder Chocolates and Nutella, the Ferrero Group, have made a $3.1 billion offer for the company. The deal still has to be approved by shareholders. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
On Wall Street, stocks are higher at this hour. The Dow up 276. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Gunfire in Fife and a batch of arrests. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Bothell, the crash has been cleared from I-405 southbound at State Route 527. You're still sluggish through Bothell. In Federal Way, construction near State Route 18 has you slow on I-5 southbound and really backed up a bit on 18 too. And you're slow on State Route 18 from about the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. Travel times, Everett to Seattle and Federal Way to Seattle, about half an hour each. Renton to Bellevue, 20 minutes. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A shooting in Fife early this morning leaves 2 people injured and 5 in custody. Cole Hansen, sleeping at a Motel 6, woke up to hear police swooping into action.
They were saying things like, come out, put your hands up, don't turn around, get on your knees. I mean, I was like, it's something that happens, but probably something I never thought I would be a part of.
Police are working to determine what led up to the shooting. No word on the condition of the injured. U.S. Marshals in a national forest in Idaho come up empty-handed in their search for Travis Decker, the man wanted for murdering his 3 young daughters near Leavenworth.
Multiple Decker sightings from campers at Idaho's Sawtooth National Forest. Law enforcement began searching the area with fervor until Wednesday afternoon. That's when the U.S. Marshals Service announced that they had found and interviewed the man that tipsters called in. And it's not Decker. Marshals now calling off the Idaho search, but Decker's status as a fugitive continues. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
We're hearing from the Tacoma man who found what he thought was a present on a Federal Way beach.
I found what looked like a little Christmas package. It was a little square box wrapped in green cloth and yellow string.
When he opened it,
kind of sat there in shock for, a few seconds and then realized this looks like, a severed human toe.
KIRO 7 TV reports the King County Medical Examiner is looking into whether the toe, where it might have come from. Striking workers at Republic Services in Thurston County claim their work stoppage is expanding to King and Snohomish counties today. Matt McQuaid with the Teamsters Union.
So for the customers in Seattle and in Bellevue, they should expect disruptions
in waste collections.
The strike is in Thurston County, but he says Teamster drivers in other areas won't cross picket lines. Republic says it'll haul away double the trash on their customers' next pickup day. The striking workers want better pay and benefits. A big moment for the Mariners' rookie second baseman as the M's took on the Yankees in the Bronx.
Home run, Cole Young, a huge smile on his face as he has done it. His first Major League home run, and it comes at Yankee Stadium.
It was not enough, though, to stem the onslaught from the Yankees hitters. The New York won 9-6. The M's will look to avoid a sweep in the Bronx this afternoon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy skies today with highs in the low 70s. It's 60 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. It is July 10th. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, sounds like you are in a much calmer mood.
I am.
Starting the 11 o'clock hour. What happened during the break?
I was doing a bunch of reading.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was reading an article that just, you ever sometimes just read something, you just go deep into it. And then,
Man, I don't know how you find that time at the top of the hour. Coming up at 11:30, we're going to do a agree to disagree, and I love this one. The war over household clutter.
Okay.
I can relate to that so much right now in my life. Text us. As always, we invite you to join us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And hello to all of you also watching the show on YouTube.
All right, let's get to it, Ursula. What kind of top news we got?
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
So now, after 13 years under a federal microscope, the city of Seattle believes the police department is ready to stand on its own. City leaders are now asking a federal judge to officially end the court-ordered oversight that began back in 2012. And this all started because an investigation found that there was evidence of excessive force and biased policing within SPD, and that kicked off a whole bunch of stuff, including major reforms. And now the city says, you know what? We've met all our obligations. Mayor Harrell says the work isn't finished, but he believes the department has changed so fundamentally that it's time to bring control back home to the community and not have to be under this Justice Department oversight. And there is data that would support that. SPD is reporting a significant drop in the use of force, but it's not a closed case. The judge has pointed out that there are still some ongoing racial disparities when it comes to policing, and the system for disciplining officers is still something that is a point of contention. But Seattle says it's time to get rid of this federal oversight. What do you say?
I agree. I think the SPD, of course, look, if better is possible, then good is never enough. That goes for all of us, in our lives and any other business. I think SPD has made huge, huge strides, even during the time of our show. I think that the leader that they have in place, Chief Sean Barnes, I like the guy. We had an opportunity to interview him here on the show. I think their leadership is there. I think recruiting will get better. I love the direction of SPD. Are they perfect? No, but neither is any company or agency that's out there. So if I were the decision maker on this, I would say yes. Let's take them off this. They've been on it for 13 years. They are exceptionally better than what they were, and we look forward to them getting better in the future.
And they're exceptionally better than where they were, despite the fact that they are severely understaffed and they have had some lousy leadership the last couple of years under former Chief Adrian Diaz and all the things that they've gone through. I think that they have changed enough, and so I agree with you on that. Let's move over to what is going on in Texas, because there is still the grim task of recovery that is continuing today. Authorities are now saying at least 121 people are confirmed dead. more than 160 people are still missing. And this is all because of that catastrophic flash flooding that swept through Texas Hill Country. And rescue crews are going house to house. They're very worried that the death toll could still go up. So as all of this is happening, there's also a lot of finger pointing. A lot of like, what could we have done, which always happens when there is a catastrophic event, and it immediately became political. A lot of people are saying, well, there were cuts over here, and did that play into it? We had our meteorologist, Ted Beener, join us, and he said, at least when it comes to the National Weather Service, they did have full staffing there. Mm-hmm. And, there are things that he said, and you should read it on mynorthwest.com, because he actually had some concrete things that could happen that would help in the future, including better warning systems and at that camp, what could have been done at that camp, since it was next to Guadalupe River, and there were all those young girls there and their counselors who are now either missing or dead. But in the midst of all of this, we're hearing this, and I hate to even give him attention, but I really want y'all to listen to this, because this is Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk, who had the audacity to share some of his thoughts on what contributed to the death toll.
The Democrats, they're so despicable. The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country. What you are not being told by the media anywhere is that the death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. This Texas tragedy is just the latest example. It's not just incompetence. This is DEI working to undermine meritocratic institutions, and more people likely died than otherwise would have because of DEI.
And I'm looking at that and like, how could he possibly be blaming DEI? And then it turns out, because he is blaming the Austin fire chief for the delayed response, the Austin fire chief who happens to be black. So this is an example of DEI that contribute. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? We all know who President Lyndon B. Johnson is, right? The president that took over once John F. Kennedy was assassinated, President Lyndon B. Johnson. And he said a quote, and you can look it up yourself. And he said this way back in the 60s. And in that quote, Ursula, he says, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. He'll give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. Charlie Kirk, people like Charlie Kirk, every single day, they are giving people what they want. There are people that want to hear that. There are people that want to hear that, okay, there's a black man in charge. DEI is the reason for all of the deaths, the 120 so far that are dead, for the 180 that are still missing. And while they do that, while they hear that type of filth from Charlie Kirk, other things can be happening at the same time. So, if somebody said, hey, why do you even give Charlie Kirk the time? Because what we don't want, see, what has happened right now in our country, Ursula, people are getting so used to the anti-black, anti-brown, anti-women, anti-LGBTQ. This whole hysteria that is happening, people are just letting it go. So now it's becoming so commonplace. It is so to say the quiet part out loud.
And so I'm glad you brought that up because, we often get whether it's why do you bring up someone like Charlie Kirk or why do you always talk about racism? I mean, you're all laughing, but how? There's not a day that goes by that we're not asked, why do you bring up racism? Racism isn't such a problem anymore. Are you kidding me?
You know,
I mean, what is Charlie Kirk saying? And for anyone who agrees with him, I mean, in the midst of all this tragedy, to point that, and by the way, what they're saying about the Austin fire chief and the response by the Austin Fire Department, which is not exactly right next to where all of this is happening, by the way, but it's bringing in additional resources at a time of tragedy. There's going to be a lot of blame to go around and a lot of lessons, but to go directly to DEI is so telling. And for people to jump on it like, yeah, that's DEI after a plane crash. Yeah, that's DEI after. It's so telling. And there's a part of me that just wishes, like, can't we go back to the time when people didn't feel so comfortable saying that?
I mean, you wouldn't say this out loud, right? You wouldn't say, oh, that happened because of black people. You wouldn't say, that happened because of women.
No.
You wouldn't say, oh, that plane crashed because someone's gay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that, but you can say this happened because of DEI.
And what are you trying to say because of DEI? What is DEI to you? Having unqualified people in these positions, would you not say Peter Hegseth is a DEI hire?
Didn't earn
That
it.
is someone, he didn't earn it.
Yeah. You know, I said something about 3 years ago on social media. And actually, I got called in about what I said. And let me continue to say it. The truth never expires.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all documented. And so just the same way you see a pendulum that goes too far one way, hey, just remember, everybody, it's going to swing back. And when it swings back, all of the people, the problem is, see, Meemaw was able to hide Papa's clan robe. Grandkids were able to keep those secrets and keep them in the chest downstairs in the footlocker. You see, all of this stuff that you guys are doing on social media, this is forever. And so whenever it does, and it will swing back, and when it does, all of the people, the contributors that made money off of this stuff, that said the nasty stuff, that were anti this, that were anti that, I ain't got to worry about it. Because I tell you right now, my grandkids and my great-grandkids, when they hear all this stuff, and I'm going to say it again, I'm on the right side of history. The Charlie Kirks of the world, to telling people that the folks in Texas are dead because of DEI, that's the wrong side of history. And by the way, there is no both sides. Either human decency or not.
1,000% agree. I'm just going to show you a text from John in Renton who says, racism is still quite a problem. However, there is also a lot of anti-white out there. If you're feeling like as a white person who feels persecuted at this moment, imagine whatever you're feeling times 1,000 for many more years.
I'll make you a deal. When they say anti, I just want to... Chef, I'll ask you, sir.
You know what?
When you say anti-white.
As the token white guy in the room right now,
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I can handle that one.
Handle this. Okay, Chef.
So there's this idea that pointing out historical and systemic racism and sexism is an indictment of white people as a whole and of current white people. Let's be clear. That's not true. There's this idea that if you teach kids in school about historic racism and oppression, then that's going to make them feel bad and make them feel bad about being white. Here's the thing, though. I learned about that stuff in school, and you know what? I didn't feel bad. I thought, oh, my gosh, that's horrible. How did we ever let that happen? When I see Charlie Kirk saying things like this, I don't think as a white person, gosh, I'm responsible for that.
No,
I don't.
He's a despicable human.
And recognizing the fact that, Gee's family did not get to profit from the housing market the way that mine did because of racist redlining policies, that doesn't indict me. That doesn't make me feel guilty. But it does, knowing that, it does give me a responsibility to be conscious about the policies and the people that I support. So if you feel like, look, man, there's always animus between different classes of people, right? If you're the only white guy in a school with all black people, if you're the only black guy in a school with all white people, if you grow up in a Hispanic neighborhood and you're the white guy, you're going to get crap for it, right? That just happens. That's normal. What is not normal and not responsible is to completely cover your eyes, put the blinders on, pretend like nothing ever happened in this country. It's all been solved. I don't see color. Women have it just the same now, so we just need to stop talking. No, that's not the way that history works. History is not in the past. History is with us today, and it is living and breathing, and it explains our current lives.
Yes.
And history is not over either.
Yes, you're correct. Susan and Kent agrees with you. Thank you. Exactly. Facts of history make us all stronger to unify against evil. I want to end. I'm going to throw in one more story. We're just packing you out with news. Microsoft, okay, speaking of uplifting, Microsoft says it wants to lift up communities with AI, even as it's laying off thousands of its own workers. So there was an event yesterday in Seattle, and the company announced a $4 billion initiative called Microsoft Elevate. It's this 5-year global effort to help schools and nonprofits get access to AI. We talk about it a lot now on this show, but AI tools, training, and technology. Microsoft's president, Brad Smith, says the goal isn't to replace people with machines, but to help them do more and do it better. But of course, this announcement comes just a week after Microsoft cut another 9,000 jobs, including more than 3,100 here in Washington. And so, maybe some people are a little suspect about the timing of this announcement of Elevate. What do you think about this? Is this helping communities, or is it just a shiny distraction from all these job cuts?
Shiny distraction from all these job cuts. Because every time I open up and look at the stock market, right, I just get confused.
It's shiny.
It's shiny. And then you hear about news and in Ursula's top stories about there's going to be and could be more layoffs and everything. So, yeah, I think this is a whole shiny thing.
Isn't this like pushing someone out of a plane and then giving him a piece of paper saying, innovate your way out of this?
Well, that's one way to look at it. I am so rose-colored glasses when it comes to AI. I get that it's just going to change things so dramatically, and maybe I'm in the honeymoon phase of it all.
Yeah.
But I think it's just going to be critical that everyone learns how to use it, and use it as a tool, use it to enhance your job, and hopefully it parlays into another job if you're one of those that has lost a job.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I changed your mood.
Oh, well, no, I'm in a good mood, actually. And I just want to say, Ursula, you set that up right. Chef, you hit a home run with that. I mean, you absolutely, I just had to bring that back. You absolutely hit a home run. And, you want to know one of my favorite things in life? I like it when I get messages from people.
What kind of messages?
I'm talking about the ones where I know that you don't. Like, for an example, there used to be this narrative that some folks should remain humble. You should be humble. You're too loud. And Ursula, Chef, one of my favorite things in the world is I know that sometimes success for some makes some people really angry. They get really mad. And so that's why you see hey, they're anti this or they're anti that. Because they have to feel better, right? Because they have to have a reason why this person is further along than them. But Chef, again, thank you for that. Really made me feel better. Ursula, what are we going to do at 11:30, my friend?
Agree to disagree.
Come on now.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about decluttering the home.
Yeah.
And, the wars involved in that.
All right, who wants more clutter? You or Long Live Mark? We'll share that next. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. You listen to Charlie and Manda on Seattle's Morning News every morning. What do they listen to every afternoon?
I listen to John all the time when I'm driving home, driving my kids around.
I also listen to the John Curley Show, and even by the end of the day, I still like to keep my brain active, and he's very good at doing that.
John, first of all, is hilarious. I never know where this dude is coming from.
The perfect bookends to your daily commute with KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Everyone needs their own spot in the sun. It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes just enough for a chair, a book, and a cup of coffee. You might have a decking issue to solve, or maybe you're looking for a trellis. Whatever your needs, our staff is ready to help you plan your next outdoor living project, free of charge. Stop by your local Dunn Lumber to get started on your next outdoor living project, or contact me personally, Mike Dunn, at dunlumber.com.
Dunn Lumber, building success together.
Subaru of Puyallup is known for making your car buying experience stress-free, no matter what. Olivia here from Subaru of Puyallup. We've provided stress-free sales and service through storms, supply hiccups, even a pandemic. You can count on a stress-free experience no matter what's around the corner. Right now, we have over 300 brand new Subaru vehicles on the lot with stress-free pricing, plus excellent stress-free trade-in values. Come in and secure today's pricing on tomorrow's car at Subaru of Puyallup.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call RoofSmart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call RoofSmart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Linwood Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Linwood Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Linwood Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Linwood Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Linwood Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Steely Dan fans, Nearly Dan brings their powerhouse tribute to Dimitro's Jazz Alley this Thursday through Sunday, July 13th. 6 shows, 12 top-tier musicians, and all the hits. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
No stone is left unturned.
The search continues in central Texas, where at least 120 have died and 160 people are missing after flash flooding July 4th. CBS's Karen Hua.
We are on day 7 of this search, and while officials have not come out and outright called this a recovery mission, we know that hope is dwindling since it's been about a week since these floods.
Flash floods have killed a man and 2 children in New Mexico, where Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury says more severe weather is expected.
If you live here in Ruidoso, follow the emergency evacuation orders. We cannot lose another life.
For the first time, we're hearing from the task force charged with making King County metro buses safer. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
From passengers being attacked to the death of a King County metro bus driver.
Honestly, since the day Operator Sean Yin was murdered, the county council has been there.
The King County Transit and Safety Task Force has spent months researching and compiling data in order to make public transit safe for all. Those ideas include improving lighting at bus stops, hiring more security officers, and improving reporting for both riders and drivers.
The full council still needs to approve that funding. Governor Bob Ferguson says Washington state will divert funding to keep Planned Parenthood operating now that President Trump has signed a budget that freezes Medicaid payments to the organization. Planned Parenthood advocate Jennifer Allen.
This bill absolutely attacks both Planned Parenthood and the patients that we serve.
Critics don't want money going to an organization that provides abortions. Planned Parenthood offers all kinds of services, though, including cancer screenings. Be prepared for major Seattle area freeway closures this weekend. WashDOT's Craig Smiley explains.
We don't like doing these types of full closures, but sometimes they're necessary. And summer is a very short window to get a lot of work done.
Closures from Friday night into Monday morning include southbound 405 between Totem Lake and Kirkland, northbound 405 between 169 and Sunset at Renton, and southbound 167 between Willis and 227th in 277th in Kent. Closing Friday night to Saturday morning, I-5 southbound at Stewart Street. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 279 points, NASDAQ ahead 33. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, on I-90 eastbound near East Mercer Way, a disabled vehicle's blocking a lane. Not seeing a big backup there just yet. In Port Orchard, reports of a disabled vehicle on State Route 16 near Southeast Sedgwick Road. In Federal Way, construction near State Route 18 has you slow on I-5 southbound there, and you're backed up on 18 past Warehouser Way now. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Radio Rundown. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly cloudy today with highs in the low 70s. It's 60 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Let's get to our Agree to Disagree segment brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
Do you have a secret donation pile hidden in the back of your closet, or maybe a partner who hoards cables just in case? Or perhaps you're the stealth declutterer, the one who quietly smuggles out the mismatched mugs and your partner's old t-shirts out the door when they're not looking. The Wall Street Journal reports this morning on secret purges, intense standoffs, the war over household clutter. They highlight couples who are in battles over the things in their home, all the cheap crap that is accumulated over time, and one partner's efforts to throw it away. Ursula, there's a guy who confessed to throwing out a bunch of his wife's mugs. I hope she would not read the story in the Wall Street Journal. She actually has a picture there with him. I don't think she knew what the photo was for. Is it okay to throw away some of your partner's things without telling them?
It depends on what those things are. If you know that they would be upset, if you were truly being helpful and you know that they wouldn't care and you know that for a fact and you do it, I actually love the idea. If you know it's something that bothers you but it doesn't bother them and then you do it behind their back, I just feel like it's deception, and I see where there would be wars over that. I will say that so far in our marriage, we have been really good about having the same general idea of how clean or how decluttered we want our house. However, I have noticed that lately, and yesterday was a big example of this, where I'm bringing way too much stuff into the house and not getting rid of enough, and I am in danger of becoming my parents.
Yeah.
Yesterday I shared with you guys, you know how Rite Aid is having their big closing out sales, like the Rite Aid stores, and they're having them at different times. My neighborhood.
You're the only friend of mine that goes to Rite Aid all the time.
I do. It's a very convenient.
You always go to Rite Aid.
I know. I do. I do for a number of reasons. Not to mention my neighbor works there. But in any case, yesterday I went, and as I'm looking through what they have left of their makeup, I'm not even joking. One of the managers came up and said, if you want, you can fill this plastic bag. It was like this big, giant Ziploc. Everything, any makeup, $5.
Wait, what? Fill up a Ziploc, like a gallon Ziploc?
Yes. I filled 3 bags.
How much stuff do you think is walking out the back of that store?
Oh, I'm not making any sort of statement like that, but I'm just saying, like, did I need any of it? No, but I felt like it was Christmas. So, and I would be upset if my husband decided to clutter that.
So
Okay.
I ask you about, between you and Long Live Mark, who's the worst
I'm
when
worse.
it comes to keeping
I'm worse.
clutter?
Yeah.
Same.
You're
I'm
the
worse.
You're the worst.
Yeah. And actually, so I don't know. I do this, Chef. You see me do it all the time. I come in about once every 3 months and I get rid of clothes. and I don't do enough. Like, I need to get rid of a bunch of clothes, but if there's some things in the garage, there's some things in my shed, there's some things that I need to get rid of. Like, I still have a briefcase from when I was doing door-to-door sales, and everything is in it. And so the same way I keep receipts on the phone, I just keep these things. I have things. I have a box from when I was in military school, a box of all of the letters that I received.
Wow.
In 7 years. A box of letters. People writing me letters. Like, I would have friends.
How often do you read them? See, I can justify that.
Yeah, you can keep that stuff.
Those are meaningful. I'm talking about the stuff I just brought into my house again.
What am I trying to read? But my thing is even I had one of my father's jackets that I would keep keep some clothes in my, so I can still smell him on there. And I gave.
Okay, that's totally justified.
I can justify everything.
But if you have an entire, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yes, that is the problem.
Yes.
And when I had to help my parents declutter, I'm just going to tell you right now, I've got to use my own advice, because you have to be ruthless.
Sometimes they keep
magazines. You literally have to. Okay, I don't do that.
You don't keep
that's out.
But some people do keep magazines,
yes,
right?
No, yes. That is a runaway problem. Some people keep newspaper clippings. Yeah,
National
that's
Geographic,
how that is.
60 episodes. I think it's totally fine to get rid of stuff that your partner has if you are sure that they will never know that it is missing.
Yes.
Right? For years, 8 years, my wife had this like tacky lantern that she got from IKEA that was like robin's egg blue, fit with none of our stuff. We never put a candle in it, ever. It is just hung on our wall or been stored on a shelf. And I've asked her if I could throw it out for years. And she's always said, no, I really, really like it. Drives me crazy. I threw that sucker out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She hasn't said a dang word to me.
Okay, but what happens if she says, okay, where is that?
I'll say, I don't know. Where'd you put it? Or I'll say, I'll throw it out.
See, I think
Did you miss it?
I see. I just said
I
some
know
things.
she's done it with my stuff.
Ursula, I said some things,
Yes.
and even you were like, oh, I can understand. That's the way my brain works. My brain works to where I am justifying all kinds of things.
But you know what my father said to me, and I think a lot of you listening right now can relate to this. This is what my dad said, because we ended up with 5 storage units. We still have one that we need to dispose of.
Yeah.
And my heart gets crushed if I think of what my father would have said if he knew what we had to do with the 4 other storage units. However, he said, every book that you want me to donate or throw out, he said, every book, every artifact, everything is a story. And you're basically saying you want to throw out part of my story. And I was like, ugh.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I know, but the biggest gift that and I'm putting myself in here too, the biggest gift we can do for our next generation is to A, not overconsume, which I just did, but B, is make sure you take care of, donate, recycle, dispose of, buy nothing, do all of it before you leave it on to the next generation.
Do any of you have clothes that you own that you'll never wear again, but you don't want to give it away because of what it cost you when you bought it?
Or because of the promise that you're going to lose weight to eventually fit it again.
Oh, that's another one too.
Or just because it reminded you of a time in your life, you know?
Okay, goal for today, I'm going through my closet. I have a cousin in the Philippines who asked if I could send her what they call balik bayan box. I'm going to do it.
What?
It's a box like from the U.S. They get a big box of stuff.
Nick, do you clutter? You keep clutter, man?
No, I like to call it organized chaos, you know? Sometimes I lay my clothes out on the bed before the day, but it's nothing terrible. I don't have a messy room or anything like that.
If there's anyone that is real good, what is that one lady that helps you declutter your stuff?
Marie Kondo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go.
If it doesn't bring you joy, out.
I need to do that.
If you haven't used it in the last year, out.
I need to go. And you know what? If you don't know what's in the box, get rid of it. If you don't know what's in it, get rid of it. If you ain't seen it, if you have not seen a box in 5 years and you don't know what's in it,
that would mean I have to get rid of that entire storage unit.
If you haven't unpacked it for 2 moves.
All right. Text messages, feedback, and we have Ursula's Words to Live By.
You listen to Charlie and Manda on Seattle's Morning News every morning. What do they listen to every afternoon?
I listen to John all the time when I'm driving home, driving my kids around.
I also listen to the John Curley Show, and even by the end of the day, I still like to keep my brain active, and he's very good at doing that.
John, first of all, is hilarious. I never know where this dude is coming from.
The perfect bookends to your daily commute with KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
I bet every one of us knows someone affected by cancer. But how many of us know a child with cancer? I got news for you. Cancer doesn't discriminate and cancer doesn't wait. Hey, it's G. Scott. We're lucky to have Seattle Children's Hospital as they're leading the charge in pediatric cancer research with a revolutionary treatment called immunotherapy. It's a game changer, reprogramming a child's own T cells to find and destroy cancer cells. That means fewer harsh side effects from chemo or radiation and more hope. But here's the hard truth. Pediatric cancer research is severely underfunded. That's why I'm asking you to help. This July, join me and Safeway by donating at checkout. Become an immunohero. Your donation fuels life-saving research and gives families something priceless. More time, more options, more hope. It's easy. Next time you're at Safeway, just say yes to donate. Together, we can fight cancer for all kid kind. Thank you for being an immunohero.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Say hello to summer and hello to savings on your very own saltwater hot spring spa. Through May 26th, we have special pricing on the best hot tub you can own and interest-free financing till 2030. It's time to start feeling better every day with a healthy, soothing soak. Are you ready? Learn more at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Crank up the hits and bring on the boom. It's 80s fireworks night at T-Mobile Park. Get ready for a totally tubular show on Friday, July 18th. Presented by T-Mobile. The Mariners face off against the division rival Astros at 7:10. And after the game, the sky will light up to the sound of your favorite 80s jams. Big hits on the field and more big hits after dark.
Grand slam! Julio takes it deep and clears it off.
Mariners baseball, fireworks, and hair metal? Sounds like a rad night. Lock in your seats now at Mariners.com and check out what else is on deck at the ballpark this summer, including 3 straight value games against the Brewers, July 21st through 23rd. And the next Mariners fireworks show on August 1st.
Goodbye, baseball. He does it again. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get lower home energy bills, cleaner air, and year-round comfort with AeroSeal duct sealing. Starting at just $99 for PSE customers replacing their furnace or heat pump. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Before the text messages, and Ursula's going to be talking about that in her words to live by, I want to tell you and talk to you about what's coming up tomorrow on the show. Yes, it is Fresh Fridays. Now, that by being fresh, sorry, Ursula. By being Fresh Fridays, Michael Medved will join the show at 10 o'clock. Looking forward to talking to Michael. That happens at 10. One of the topics that's going to be on the show tomorrow, the whole federal appeals court came in and says, no, we're going to still make it hard for you to cancel that subscription. Oh my goodness. This topic right here burns me up. It should be easy to cancel a subscription, an ongoing payment every month that you don't want.
Do you even know all the subscriptions that you have?
No, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So that'll happen tomorrow, and we'll also have fun. As you all know, Nick likes to have fun on Fresh Friday, so make sure you join us tomorrow. All right, Ursula, what do you got?
Okay, well, I want to start with a shout out from Mike in Edmonds, who says, I want to give a shout out to all of the folks working in the emergency room at Swedish and Edmonds. He says, I went in there Saturday night and was diagnosed with diverticulitis, and I ended up spending the night getting fluids and antibiotics and being taken care of by some really great people doing really great work. Everybody in the country should be so lucky. Everybody in the world, for that matter.
Shout out Swedish in Edmonds. Edmonds, that's your people, Chef.
Oh, I've been in that ER a lot recently. They do great work.
Trash strike, which I'm still confused about. Brenton Belfair says this is a great opportunity for folks to practice making a smaller footprint.
Oh, Brent, you're so right. And I failed yesterday. But I'm going to, my words to live by in just a few minutes are going to inspire me and hopefully inspire you as well. Okay, are you cutting back on spending? 253 says, you're right, G. I am ready to spend money on a kitchen remodel, but things are just too uncertain and I need to wait for saner times.
Tamara in Tacoma says 100% watching spending and more than nervous about where we are going.
Then there's Nate in Olympia who says, yep, I'm fortunate to be in a position that I am comfortable, but we have cut back on spending because we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
TJ in Shelton says, I'm doing okay, but definitely holding back on spending. Only putting money towards things that'll help me survive if everything goes south.
Is Amazon Prime Day a flop? Leanne in Lake Tap says, I'm not doing Amazon anymore. As are many of my friends doing the same thing. Jeff Bezos has enough money. I know a couple of some subcontractors that work for Amazon. They do not have any benefits and they make minimum wage.
David says we boycott Amazon, unplugged all of the devices, canceled all the subscriptions. Some things have been a tough adjustment, but feel so flipping good.
And then there's Megan in Des Moines who says, I have a few things in my cart, but I usually end up deleting them. The only thing I might be looking at is Christmas presents for my daughter. But other than that, it seems like junk, and it's only on sale for 10 to 15% off.
360 says, I have my own boycott going on against Amazon. Jeff Bezos doesn't need any of my money.
On the ICE arrest in White Center, Susan in Kent says, I don't get the dramatic costumed ICE arrests. It should be business as usual. Show the badge, read them the charges out loud. It's garbage to say they can't identify themselves as law enforcement. Reminds me of Klan operations. It needs to stop now.
Jeremy in Seattle says, loyalists, extrajudicial, militarized police force.
And Linda in Seattle says they can't easily find the quote-unquote criminals, so they're now going for the low-hanging fruit. Those who show up for immigration court appearances and who apply for acceptance. It is disgusting, in my opinion.
Yes, I'm glad Chef put a warning at them. Hey, Ursula, it's now time for your words to live by.
Okay, inspired by our conversation about getting rid of clutter.
Yeah.
Peter Walsh quote here. What I know for sure is that when you declutter, whether it's your home, your head, or your heart, it is astounding what will flow into that space that will enrich you, your life, and your family. That's a reminder for myself. I'm going to start tonight.
All right. Brother Nick, what you got, man?
Well, once again, we get some bad news for the weekend roads. Here and now from news guy Sully, closures reach an overload. But if you're asking, would I rather find out on my drive, you'd be crazy thinking I'd want bad surprises on I-5. Though I would be waiting still without a warning on commutes rather than to clean a dirty home or lose a toe in boots. It would be worse when you mention those two options. I'll take the slow drive.
Love you, Nick.
Who sings this, Nick?
This is the Pointer Sisters, man.
Oh. Why did I know that? I don't know this song, but I should know their voice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Make sure you stick around. Ursula, you ready for Friday tomorrow?
I sure am.
All right, just making sure. How about you, Chef? You ready for Friday tomorrow?
Oh, after 1 day, 2 days? Yeah.
Chef is just adjusting back from being on vacation mode.
Yeah. Nick, you ready for Friday?
Fresh Fridays. Okay,
I think
you know
so.
what? For the first time since he started that annoying thing, G actually said Fridays correctly. And then he had to bring that up again. Fresh Fridays. So annoying. Y'all, enjoy your Thursday.
Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Fresh Fridays.
Without a word, I heard you say that in your own is where I belong. You were in charge, I was in love. You had me hooked and I didn't know. I loved your heart.
KIRO News Radio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO News Radio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
With Clear Choice Dental Implants, 1 day can make the difference between hiding your smile and saying cheese. Thanks to our dental implant experts, our 1 day teeth transformation culminates in your Clear Choice Day, the day when you start loving your smile again. Visit clearchoice.com or call 888-SMILE-05 to schedule your free consultation today. And let us help Seattle start smiling again.
Majority qualify for same-day dental implants after doctor recommendation. Offices owned by Dr. Alfonso Pinheiro.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Linwood Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity